Howdy peeps, welcome to our card game live stream where we are going to be live streaming our card game. We're so good at this naming thing. I thought we could start with reading the blurbs I've written.
Oh sure, yeah, he actually wrote some stuff.
This is promotional material about it, just so we're all on the same page, which is like -1. So what I've written was a self-fulfilling idiocy, apocalypse soonish. The world is about to end, but not in a cool blockbuster movie with poor reviews but has a cult following kind of way. No, the worst part of this looming end of all things is that it's really, really stupid. Can this frankly embarrassing doom be stopped, or is it smarter to jump ship on Team Humanity and side with the obvious, if pretty evil, winner? The Doodleverse is in need of a hero, but you'll just have to do. Self-fulfilling idiocy, apocalypse soonish is a semi-deck building, quasi-combat based, all-nonsense card game version of your favorite Door Monster sketch series. If it was, it is now. If it wasn't, it is now. No take-backsies. Take on the role of a Door Monster crew member as they assemble a team of time-traveling characters from sketches new and old to duke it out with their annoyingly uncooperative colleagues, i.e. your presumed friends. Race to build a successful balance of reason, combat, and personality, and save the world. Or ignore all that and work to bring about omni-destruction your own self. Mayhem, chaos, and idiocy reign, and you as us is your only shot. Hope for luck, trust no one, and never pull your punchlines. And there's an asterisk by luck, and it defines it as Kyle.
I will probably put that entire thing in the instruction manual verbatim. I'm not changing anything.
I'm pretty happy with it.
I don't think that will make it more accessible, but I don't care. Hey everybody, I don't know if Allison, can people see us? Is it working? Just now that we did the intro.
Said something about it being live, but I don't know how to tell.
I guess they can. If you guys can't hear us or if there's any audio problems, as usual, just let us know in the chat. We have a person monitoring the stream, which is weirdly professional, even though it's actually just Allison.
Right, well, I mean, it's just a goblin, but
Literally just being lazy, but let's call it professional.
But normally we don't have another person like making sure the stream's working. Okay, cool. Well, welcome. We have I had the latency turned down on this one so that it's not like a 60-second delay on everything that we say. So we can get feedback directly from you guys. And the idea, if you have no idea what we're doing, is we've been working on this card game. I've hand-drawn all the cards that we currently have. And we haven't played it yet, so we don't know if it works. And it probably doesn't, because a lot of the numbers we just came up with off the top of our head.
All the numbers are basically just 2.
Yes. And so we'll be adjusting them as we go. So we're going to play it, we're going to see how it works, and then because it's on cards and we don't really care about these particular versions,
we'll just scratch out, try replace some new stuff.
I can edit it, and we can also take your feedback in real time and just change stuff and then see how it works.
Because we're betting a lot of you are better at this than we are.
Yeah. We also have Kirk here. You might not recognize Kirk as that guy with the ski mask.
He left it at home.
At what was it? Knock on Wood.
Knock on Wood, yeah.
And he also makes a reappearance on Christmas in the next Spider-Man video.
Yeah, he's Santa Claus.
And Kirk is our resident
nerd,
board game expert. Yeah.
I mean, I'm
even by our standards.
Even by our standards, this man enjoys Settlers of Catan. So.
I've never actually played
so much more. I'm still trying to get you to play Agricola.
Right, yeah. I
also have a stack of blank cards, so if anybody has ideas for cards, you can suggest them, and I can just draw it up and throw it in, and we can see how it goes. We will, before you start suggesting cards, we're going to explain how the game works, and we're going to go through like just one test round or something, and then after that, you feel free to just start giving out suggestions. Allison's going to be reading them and giving us...
There's weird popping sounds and static and tapping that people are all talking about. Mic cracking.
Oh. Well,
that's just resting noise.
Can they hear us still?
Everyone's hearing it, but I think they can hear you, but everyone's talking about the static.
Wonder what's up with that.
Loose cable. Maybe the cable got run over by a truck. That happened before.
1 second. Audio's going to cut out for just a little bit. Ian and Kirk will continue to mime.
The sound of Texas.
Alright, we're back up.
Alright, check one, check two.
I'm not sure if you're noticing, but we were doing some prime vaudeville miming.
Okay, they're saying the static. One person said static is gone.
Well, all the audio was gone.
Well,
Also, yeah, apparently it wasn't. I was wondering about that.
apparently what?
I'm not actually sure if the audio cut out or not.
Oh, the audio wasn't gone?
They're saying it's still there, but I don't know what to do about it.
I'm not entirely sure either.
Now is the time to introduce my favorite Onion article in the world.
No.
Yeah. I
Uh,
don't know about that.
Podcast host promises better audio next time.
Still
But they
think
can hear you fine.
best clickhole article of all time is that gazebo's one.
I do like the gazebos one. I've shared that around.
Paragon of gazebo beauty.
I apologize for any horrible eardrum splitting noises that come from this.
No, I don't think so. Popping, crackling noises. People said it had to do with when you guys got louder.
I don't know if it. I'm trying to switch a cable. I don't know if that'll do anything.
You know, when I named Looking Edgy, I was just intending to make a pun about being able to carry swords which have edges. I didn't mean to define you forever, I'm sorry.
That's okay. People just saw right through it. They were like, "This is Allison's truest form."
I mean, it's definitely better than I mean, actually, I
Of all the
have a lot of
stereotypes, I approve.
What do you mean you fixed it? How can it be fixed? It was unplugged.
Kyle, don't question.
Audio's perfect now.
But they were saying that before I plugged the microphone back in.
Oh, I see. They're really just telling us to shut up. What you didn't?
Okay, it's fine. Just
Okay, looks like everybody's saying it's fixed, so just let us know if it starts breaking again.
we got one that said it's muffled, one that's all caps. That's loud.
Muffled, loud.
So it's just a car. We're just like a jalopy.
Alright.
You just lose no matter what. Alright.
Sorry about that.
Alright.
So,
So-
should we explain how the game works?
So first maybe the card types.
Yeah, so
Okay, so we
we're
have
also explaining it to Kirk, because
Right.
Kirk doesn't know.
we have 5 card types. I've tried writing some rules down. I have some rough drafts so I can go through it a bit. We have 5 card types. The first one is DM crew member nameplate, which is we're technically you draft out. No, those are time travelers. 1 second. You draft out a door monster crew member to be.
Right. So currently the only ones I've made are Ian, Ethan, me, Allison, and Rachel.
Well, I'm obviously Allison.
There you go.
Thanks.
I'll play me, because I'm narcissistic. And then Kirk, you want Ethan, Rachel, or Ian?
I'm clearly gonna play Rachel.
Okay.
So eventually, these will have special abilities. Right now, they don't, except for Kyle's. So because Kyle requires one.
Right.
So why don't you be Ethan instead?
But I like mine, then we can show off the special ability.
Okay, but that means you get an advantage. And oh, I see. You just want to win.
Where are your... Oh, there
That's
it is.
fine. So anyway, what these do is they A, will provide a special ability, which we only have Kyle's worked out so far, and B, they provide your base stats. So kind of like a D&D character, you have 3 stats that you track throughout the game. Those are personality, reason, and combat. How good you are at each one, theoretically. All of DM crew members have between 0 and 3 of each in different stat arrays, except for Kyle, who has the special ability that at a later stage in the game, he gets to pick any one of them and just have 2 in that and 0 in all the rest.
Right. The rest will also have special abilities, but we just haven't.
Right.
found
I've
them
already
yet.
decided that Allison's will be called Lola No.
Do I use a special ability?
Yeah, everybody does.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Rachel's will, based on the picture, will be something like, yeah! Anyway, so these are our crew members. So I start with 2 combat, 0 speech bubble, and 1 mushroom. What do these mean?
I did like
What's
a
the
target.
order, left to right?
Yeah, it's like, so I had like a target,
Combat?
speech bubble, and a light bulb is what it is.
Okay,
It's-
so
it's-
combat, personality, reason.
Right.
Combat, personality, reason, CPR. That makes it easy, CPR.
There you go.
Okay, so
You gave Rachel a 0 for a reason?
yeah, she's 2+2 personality, and she's good at fighting stuff.
Okay.
Zero is just neutral. We have negative numbers also.
Right, but not on these cards. Okay, so Then we have the idiocies. So the idiocies, the idiocies, you only use one per game. They are end of the world scenarios, and they're gonna be what actually drive the gameplay. So
we have to randomly select one on these.
randomly select one. Yep.
So Kirk, you wanna draw
Let's do
for us?
it.
Flip it over.
All right.
Oh, my favorite.
Yay.
Irresponsible dinosaur scientist.
So we're trying to prevent the world from being ended by irresponsible dinosaur scientists.
Yeah.
And so here's the basic goal of gameplay is to acquire either the stat line presented to prevent it, or so you alter your stats by gaining time travelers, which we'll go over in a moment. Each time traveler has a faction. You can assemble a recipe of time travelers based on their factions. If you have a roster of time travelers that matches the factions needed, you can cause the end of the world. It's a bit more specific, it's a bit more difficult, but it's kind of like it's another goal, another way to play. So what we'll do is that will be what we're trying to prevent or cause the entire game long. There are 3 more kinds of cards. First off, let's do time travelers.
Right, we each start with one, right?
We each start with one time traveler. So you pick a DM member, then you each get a time traveler to start off with.
So these are all the characters. These are all different characters from our videos. These are probably the only cards that we won't be able to take a lot of suggestions for because there's already a very specific number of them.
Right.
And if we introduce, it's kind of important that they all have an even number of these factions we were talking about. So we can't really introduce one without introducing 5.
Plus, we've also used most of our characters.
And that too, yeah. There's not a whole lot of empty spaces.
Am I a
So-
character?
I don't think Ski Mask
Actually, no,
Robber
I
is
don't
one,
think we
but
did
it
get
can be
you
an
one.
expansion.
There we go.
So we have 5 factions. We have heroes,
0.
villains,
Randomly give each person.
NPCs, whimsy, and chaos.
Ha!
What do you got?
I got Big Fist.
I hear he's a jerk. Okay, you got Willow. Willow
Okay.
is our from our alter egos. I got Silverback.
Cool. Nobody can see you, I don't think.
These 2.
There you are, yeah.
So you basically have a bench of time travelers, kind of like the Pokemon card game, or like the idea is main play mechanic is going to be recruiting time travelers to your cause. So each one has stats listed just like your DM member. What these do is you add together all the numbers that you have. So right now this is +2 combat. This says -2 personality and 0 reason. So I start with +2 combat. So now my combat is at 4. My personality is at -2, and my reason stays at 1.
Sounds about right.
So they alter your starting stats.
Yeah. You just gotta have like a total number that you're trying to build up.
Right. So the idea is each round is when you, just like in our self-fulfilling idiocy sketch series, you warp to a new place. Like you've just pressed an IKEA time machine button.
The crackle's back. I
Yeah.
know that people can't really hear, or at least saying enough. I keep asking about it, but
Pause.
Doing that.
Does anybody? Has there been any questions about the gameplay mechanics so far? Anybody?
Yeah, go ahead and take questions as I try to fix this.
Yeah, questions so far? Comments?
Into the back.
Interact with each other.
I could just unplug
Right,
it
so
and plug it every 20
We have
minutes.
2 phases we'll go over in a second.
Okay.
So there's
People
very-
are asking for maybe they're asking for a written version. Maybe it'd be good to just like break it down into really simple.
well, I
steps.
have a written version. Well, it's handwritten at the moment, but
Did you have like a summarized maybe something like
I
not even helpful, just like step 1, 2, 3, 4?
I do have steps,
Okay, maybe, I don't
but
know.
not written yet. I can
Step 1, put the cards in the box.
Audio.
Step 1, draft DM member, and pick your first time traveler. So we're on step 1.
Audio is good now.
But that doesn't make sense. No, it's picking it up from the webcam? Oh, that's a garbage microphone.
That explains it.
Do you just want me to plug and unplug it every couple of minutes, or how do you recruit time travelers?
Good question. That's our next step.
Okay.
Sorry, we had to cut right there. So anything we've gone over, so that's the, but you use your stats to recruit time travelers is the main answer.
Okay. Why would anyone bother going for the harder end goal? Maybe it should hinder opponents as it gets closer.
Part of the reason for the harder end goal is if you aren't winning, it's part of a catch-up feature. If you end up with like 3 time travelers that you're kind of stuck with, but they happen to match your recipe, you can start aiming for that instead of your terrible stat line.
The new Mistborn board game does that.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. It's also just another way to play. It's a bit harder, but it's also something that most people won't be going for. And a lot of the card mechanics interact with factions specifically. There's sometimes so more options and less competition, and / it's a catch-up feature.
Okay.
Let's see. Cool. Where were we?
Okay, so step 1 is draft your DM member, and then get your first time traveler. You get 1 for free, basically. And so the next thing we're going to do is after, and also reveal your idiocy that you're dealing with for the whole time. So just to go over it, to successfully win, we need a combat of greater than 4, a personality of greater than 0, and a reason of greater than 6.
Is this collectively or individually?
You personally, we're all competing against each other because we don't like each other. And by greater than, we mean meet or beat.
Right.
Greater
Yeah, that's
than or
actually what I
equal
meant to
to?
put down.
Greater
yeah.
than or equal to.
Yeah.
Meet or beat.
Is it
I just put the wrong sign on there.
Basically, Kyle's terrible, is what we've learned so far. Alright, and so, as for factions, these are all 3 heroes. Do we need to shuffle the time travelers?
They should be pretty well shuffled by now. I've done it multiple times.
Okay. So, next, but after everybody has their crew member and their first time traveler, what you do is you flip over a warp. Now,
Oh,
warps...
wait. One thing first.
Oh, wait.
We should. I think we draw a couple of these first.
Sorry. There's also item cards, or action cards.
Yeah, we haven't. But fight cards maybe because they go
Fight
during
cards.
the fight phase.
Yeah.
They don't have to
They
go
used to be
anymore.
called twists.
These are the ones you have in your hand. So.
Right. These are like actions, items, things you can do.
Hmm.
Instants and sorceries.
So let's see. We said we start with 2 of those.
Start with 2.
each.
And we decided you can only use 1 per turn.
Right. But you can also draw 1 per turn, so you can build them up
Right.
or you can trade them over. Huh. And then presumably you're supposed to keep these hidden, right?
Yeah, these are hidden.
So I can, if nobody else looks at the screen, I can show the people watching like what I got here. A couple
So-
of the card examples.
In the actual gameplay loop, there is a phase where you can. So it starts off with the punch each other out phase, where everybody gets a chance to use these. And you play 1 per turn, and some of them will affect your time travelers, some of them will affect other people's time travelers, some of them will affect the time travelers on the board, which we don't have any yet because that's the next step. So after we have, this is the setup: 1 time traveler, 2 item cards, 1 crew member. We flip over a warp. So this would be the first place we warp to in our time machine.
There's the game thing. So right, so we flip a warp card over, and this is going to be our location that we start at. So
We start in the back lot. So this has 2 things on it. It has a number of time travelers to add to the board. This is always the number of players plus a certain variable. So we're always, with 3 players, we're going to start with 3 plus 1 more time traveler for backlot. So we'll flip over 4 time travelers to be in play, unrecruited. It'll also find each time we flip over a warp, the turn order changes.
right, I always forget about that. So like,
And this is how we determine it.
right. So for the backlot, we decided turn order is determined by youngest challenges someone to rock paper scissors. Winner does the same. Last standing goes first.
So that makes you the youngest, Kyle.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Real
Kirk.
fast.
What?
Kirk, how you doing?
Doing alright?
You're getting it?
Getting it?
You have to understand on behalf of 300 people or however many.
Yeah.
it is.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll try to do 1 round and then we'll go back to questions. I think.
Yeah.
Just because also, ideally we'll get to a point where we have like an instruction booklet that explains this in a way that makes sense.
I don't
And-
see how many people are.
You should be able to see it right there on the. If you scroll down on the webpage behind that. Oh right. Rock paper scissors.
Alright, wait. On 3 or 3 and then go?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Shoot.
On scissors. On scissors. That was not what I said.
Well, we still did it, and I lost.
Alright, so.
500.
So Ian goes first.
Nice
Alright, and then we go clockwise.
500. I'm glad the audio is working now. All right, and then time travelers we get 4, right? Because there's 3 of us plus 1.
And our general rule for the whole game is in a tie, youngest wins.
Oh right, yeah.
Because kids get to play games.
The worst. As an oldest child.
So we flip over 4 time travelers who are just sitting around in the back lot is the idea.
I thought I shuffled it, but the alter egos characters keep ending up together.
That's because they're a party.
Alright, so these are the 4 characters that are currently in the back lot that we've arrived at. We've got Johnny America from whatever that one video was.
Unpredictable.
Right. Master Fusion, Psycho Seer, Allison's character, and Aurora, Rachel's character.
Alright, and so, first things, so the basic gameplay mechanic is now there are two steps, right? 2, I guess, phases. First is the use items and stuff phase, where we affect other assets based on what we can do. And each thing lasts for a round unless otherwise specified. Well,
yeah.
There's boosts, anything that changes stats for 1 round unless otherwise specified.
We're trying to do it so most of the rules are just actually printed on the cards. So
Mostly,
that
yeah.
you just kind of follow what
Right.
the thing in your hand says.
Mostly, it's there's very few things that require anything like a stack. There are some triggered abilities. For instance, you instead of a counter spell, what'll happen is if you have a counter spell in your hand, when somebody uses it, it just flips and triggers.
Automatically?
You can choose not to, but there's not like counter spell wars or anything. So it's we're trying to keep it pretty simple and easy to pick up. Because having to learn programming lingo to play a card game is fun but difficult. So in general, what you want to do is after everybody uses their items, they could use 1 item per turn. You use your stats to coerce one of the time travelers to join you. You notice that each time traveler has a number in their top left corner on top of a symbol.
Also here, before we jump into that, you're going first, Anthony, so do you want to use an item?
Right, I just wanted to explain what I'm trying to do when I use my item.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh, okay, alright, yeah.
yeah,
'cause it's,
so
yeah.
what it is so say I wanted to recruit Johnny America. He has a combat logo and a power of 4. That means I need to have a combat score of 4 or greater, and if I do, I can pick him and draft him into my team. And then his stats will affect mine, as we've already established. And then the next person goes.
Okay.
So what we want to do before we get to the recruit phase is we want to use all of our items in an effort to boost our stats or reduce other people's stats, such that we can then, when the recruit phase happens, get the person we want.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go first, which means I actually have less information than anybody because I don't know what else y'all can do to me, but I also get to pick first later. Right?
Yep.
So right now I have a combat of 4, a personality of -2, and a reason of 0 to prevent irresponsible dinosaur scientists from ruining the world. I need to have a personality of at least 0, but a reason of at least 6. So reason is what I need to bump up the most. So it'd be great if I could say get Master Fusion, but I need a 4 in reason to do that. So I can't yet. In fact, the only person I can get is Johnny America right now. So let me see what I can do with my item cards.
And Ian, you'll pick first?
I'll pick first because I won the turn order.
Good.
After this, I do need to shuffle the cards. Actually, I forgot that I didn't separate them by
Factions?
factions. Yeah,
Okay.
I had them all kind of stacked, and that's how they're related. These are all specifically I forget what we called that particular card.
Heroes.
Is that the hero logo?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, this is the
Yeah,
heroes.
silverback.
That's why. Yeah, we're
Okay,
getting all
so-
the hero cards.
At the moment, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do anything that will help me in any particular way to do this. So I think what I have to do then is pass turn to the right.
You
So
can
we're
not.
gonna-
I thought we were doing left,
Oh, sorry, Kyle then.
but I'm also not playing
Counterclockwise.
a card this turn. So you can not play your item cards. You can kind of build them
You
out. I
can
think
hoard
we
So
decided
when
you can
do-
have.
When do you get new item cards?
I think we decided you draw. That's a good question. You draw one each turn,
war,
right?
You should draw it with the
So
war.
should we each have drawn one already?
Let's do that. Let's do that so we can see if So
See if we
And
have
what's
a
the
different
maximum hand size?
one. We were gonna do maximum hand size is like 5, but you can
5.
swap them out. Like if you draw one and then want to replace one of your current ones.
Okay.
Alright, well this is instructive just so we can see what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and play one.
Okay.
I'm going to play Magic Telescope. All players reveal their hands.
Oh. Okay.
So we can just look and see what kind of cards there are.
Oh, now I can't trick anybody, but alright, yeah.
Well, that's the whole goal is information. So I also have in my hand Zucchini Milkshake.
Make sure to make
Right.
it visible.
Zucchini Milkshake. This is a boost that will apply to a time traveler, and it adds +2 reason and gives you -2 personality. I also have a wanted poster, which is another cycle of cards. It says take the last time traveler to be recruited and replace it with one of your own. That's not useful because this is our first turn. So what do you have? You have a boost. You have the license to maim, which adds 2 combat and takes away 2 personality.
Nice.
You also have trigger discipline, which is one of our super boosts, which gives +5 reason, -5 combat, -5 personality. You also have the doors. Make a player skip their next fight phase. So this is called the fight phase. So you can just say or you can play since you'll be going last, you can play it on one of us, and then we can't do it next time.
Yep.
All right. And Kyle, what do you have?
I have Zed the Puppet, which is an equipable version of the boost, which instead you stick this onto a time traveler, and then that card, until they're killed or something, just has the boost that's mentioned on it. So Zed the Puppet gives +2 personality on any time traveler you give it to.
Right.
So if I gave it to, which is useless now because we don't need personality for this particular.
Well, I can
thing.
use it because I'm at minus personality. See?
Oh, okay.
So,
I see.
so those are our 3 kinds of boosts. We have normal boost, super boost, which have 2 categories that they subtract from, but one they give 5 to at the moment, and we have equipable boost.
Right. I also have Stand the Stand-In, so if Ian tried to use his card that takes one of my cards, I can instead give him Stan, and then he's stuck with Stan, who just ruins everything, but only a little bit. He gives -1 to everything.
Right. He's one of our triggered cards. It's kind of like substitution jutsu.
I was really close to the microphone while I was saying that. I apologize. And then I also have the Gunshot Gag, which just instantly destroys a time traveler just whenever you want. So.
Okay, so what we're getting here is Kyle cheated and got all the good cards.
That's what it sounds like.
I can't remember. Did we decide if this is just playable instantly, like at any time, or do you play it on your turn?
It's gotta be on your turn during the fight.
Yeah. Okay. So you could. If
So
I knew.
everything is playable on turn and fight phase.
Basically, everything is a sorcery, unless it's triggered by a sorcery.
Yeah. Okay. And so this would be like if one of them were going to get a card that I couldn't get or didn't want, but I knew would help them, I could just kill them, and then they couldn't get them.
Now, do we decide whether that also affects players' benches or players' benches saves?
It says instantly discard 1 time traveler. We can decide, I guess. Like I don't know, because it seems a little bit cheaper if you can just knock out somebody's.
I think for now we should say on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Or on the playfield.
For now, we'll say that. Yeah.
So anyway, and as we said, all effects, unless otherwise specified, like the equip cards, last until end of turn, or they either take place immediately or last until turn. So after this, all cards go back to our hands. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Okay. So, Kyle, it's your go.
Right. So let me see. We have here. So. The best cards are Master Fusion or Psychoseer, probably. Because they're the ones that give reason, right?
Yeah.
Although you can use some of the other stuff too.
Right. I mean, they're actually all kind of useful for me.
So here's actually the thing. I don't know if this game is actually winnable, because I don't know if those numbers are able to be managed to equal the goals that we've made.
My first note is that we'll probably have to lower the power of a lot of these things. We need to make sure we have a lot of low power minions. And then only have a few that are now.
Everything sums to 0 on the time travelers.
Right, that's not
Right, that's
always
kind
going
of
to be the
what
case.
I'm worried about.
Okay. Yeah, because if you had numbers here where there wasn't a greater than threshold, like you could go negative in one stat, then you could use the 0 sum to pump the
We do
required
sometimes.
stats.
Some of them we do
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
Quick
Yeah,
request.
then for this one, if they're all 0 sum, then you're not gonna get it.
Right. What were you saying?
Quick request for a cleanup because it's apparently getting a little bit confusing with all the cards.
Right.
Keep things back to our hands. We probably don't.
What do we not need? Don't need these. And this will be the discard pile. This is where we're drawing from.
Original plan was early plan was also to have most time travelers have a +2 and a -1.
Yeah.
Right, and we're going to kind of, because I think you're probably right, they couldn't really get to that point
that's
the way they're currently set up.
Unbeatable.
Also, the amount that it takes to get them needs to reflect whatever their
Yeah.
abilities are, and they currently don't. They're just kind of arbitrarily assigned different numbers.
Yeah.
But for the sake of, so I could go like Ian expressed interest in Master Fusion, so I could play this and then just
Blow
kill
it
them.
up.
Right. Each card type has its own discard pile, and if at any point the card type deck empties out, you just shuffle it, and that's the new deck. You shuffle the discard pile back into the deck.
So then it would be Kirk's turn. If you had anything you wanted to play, you could do that now.
So after we fight, then we go pick phase in same order.
Yeah. So I'll get to pick first
Ian
after
will
you
get to
move.
pick first.
Ian would go first, yeah.
And Ian has 2 reason, -2 combat, and he has +2 combat, which will allow him to get the thing I want. Okay. And we can only play one of these in a fight phase.
That's right.
Well, that. Oh well. Then I will do nothing.
Okay. So as it stands, I can only do one thing. I can only recruit Johnny America. So I'll do that.
Okay. And let's see, I'm now going to, I should have done it before, but I'm going to decide that I'm giving myself a,
All right. Kyle's actual ability
probably.
is he can add +2 to one stat after the idiocy is revealed, but before anything else happens.
Right, yeah.
So we're already cheating.
So it makes sense to add it to reason, but I can't get anything as a result,
You mean
so.
it stands to reason?
It's not a pun. That's actually just the same word.
Fine.
So yeah, I also can't really do anything in that case. So, I will also not. So that's part of what we need to fix, is making sure people can do things more often than they can.
Right. I think definitely.
Yeah. Put the time travelers on a curve. So you have some cheaper ones.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Maybe like the really cheap ones are zeroed out, with pluses and minuses, and the expensive ones actually give you a net pop.
Right, I was thinking like 2 or 3 different tiers, basically.
Yeah.
So then we'd say, I guess we would discard the ones that are here,
Well,
right?
Kyle's, Kirk.
Oh,
Oh,
right,
I
sorry.
can't get any
Okay.
of them.
Okay, cool. So
I
we
have,
discard
I have
those.
201.
All right, and now here, hand me the time travelers real fast.
And your telescope is gone now.
Oh, yeah,
so
shuffle
that
those.
effect.
Yeah.
The telescope effect ends at the end of the fight phase.
Right, when basically before the next war, and there's a cleanup phase at the end where everything gets cleaned up. So you have a maximum of 5 time travelers allowed on your bench.
Right,
And
right,
you can
yeah.
have an infinite number in play with you.
Sorry, that's on bench is like you can recruit up to 5,
Ah,
and then you can just anytime you recruit somebody else, you have to discard one before you
you
can,
have to get rid of one. Okay.
and you can at that time. Anytime you would be able to recruit, you can discard.
Okay.
If you have 5.
Quick
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Someone's asking if you're supposed to cancel out the cards in the middle or kill off the characters. Like the cards that were in the middle. I don't remember what those are.
You just kind of, it's the same effect, I think. You just kind of discard them when you're done, because then you move to a new location, you draw all new cards.
So do you cancel them out stat base? Is that how that works?
The way that you...
Cancel them out? What do you mean by cancel out?
Yeah.
I actually don't know.
So to recruit them, you have to. They each have a logo and a number.
Okay. No, keep going.
And so if like Johnny America has 4 combat, I need my combat score has to be 4 to recruit him, and then I can keep him.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, right up there in that corner where it says the 4 there. So that's 4 personality to get Big Fist. Is what that would be.
Okay.
We'll probably... Yeah, we'll just have to figure out how those numbers need to be rearranged.
Let's take a couple more rounds just so we can data mine a little bit, and then maybe do an adjustment round.
Okay, do you want to get questions real quick? Allison said she's been writing them down.
I just have a few. You should keep going.
Okay.
Okay.
I think for the most part, people are doing okay.
Okay.
As
As with all things, explaining it in words only works so well. Seeing it played helps.
Immensely.
Yeah, watching it, I think doing another run would be really helpful.
All right, so now that Okay, those are better shuffled anyway.
Cool.
Now we flip over a new warp, and again,
Right.
flip over a new warp, pick up a new item card.
Okay. Oh right, we each get a new item card.
Thank you, sir.
We don't have to show these because
No.
his thing is invented.
Oh man.
Nice. So
Yeah,
our
flip
next
over a
warp is the KGB. I keep yelling and getting really close to this microphone. I'm sorry. So this is a 4 time travelers because it's a +1, and then highest combat goes first.
Well, I believe that would be me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
combat of 6.
Nice.
He does.
So we have. Oh wait, no, that's a warp. Okay. I know what's happening next.
Burn it.
All right. So we have LeBron. We've got Lord Chomwell, Runaway Smith, and the Companion. So that's a much nicer selection there. That's actually one of each suit there, so that's easier. Cool. Good job with the shuffling. So then you go first again. So
Right.
you want to play a card?
Yes. Okay, so I need.
All right, we can have people fill this one in for us.
Yeah,
Sorry for looking at your cards.
it's okay. We already know you cheat. As it happens.
Can people play fight cards to get their stats to the level where they can fulfill the idiocy?
Yes.
Yes.
If you're like almost there, and then on your turn you can like play one of those to give yourself that extra boost to win.
Okay, and then you can then win immediately? Or...
Yeah.
Currently, we have it as soon as you hit the threshold, you trigger.
Okay.
It's also not optional. You can accidentally cause the world to end.
Right.
So like,
So what do I have to do to cause the world to end?
so these are the
I'm asking for a friend.
You have to.
I'm asking
So you need to get one card of each of these.
Of the faces.
These faces along the bottom. These are the icons that we've listed for heroes, villains, chaos, whimsy, and NPC. I
right.
think are the ones we
the
went
flat
for.
face is NPC.
So this one, for example, requires, I think, 2 villains, 2 chaos, and 1 NPC
Right.
to
There-
cause.
This is one of our more complicated. Normally, it's all of 1 or only 2. There's only a couple of them that require 3 different ingredients.
So this does the Captain Planet thing. Can I have one of each?
This one actually has 2, 2, and 1.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2, 2, and 1?
Yeah. So this one has 2 of the angry face, 2 of this like angry happy.
Two
face.
gleeful.
Okay, there we go.
And then 1 neutral.
So currently, I'm already locked out from that unless I start.
Right. I would have to replace mine to get there.
Yeah, because it's 2 villains, 2 chaos, 1 NPC. Because that's how you make irresponsible dinosaurs, right? Is you have to be mad, chaotic, and just not care a little bit.
Apparently we're all sad.
Yeah, no, it's because I didn't shuffle them, so we all got the hero cards immediately, which are exactly what you don't need for this one.
Another way to do this might be being able to play more than one thing on your turn.
Yeah.
You think so?
Well,
If you
it's
could have
very
the-
possible. I mean,
We
we
can
have
have a location card
So,
set how many fight cards you can play.
Do we
that
want to make
way.
an adjustment of the easy way to adjust our current numbers on the cards? If we just subtract each power by 2, that puts everybody in range of being able to get them.
You want to just do that like right now? Like just assume
Wait,
that
if I
everything
could
is.
make a suggestion, since you have people jumping in at different times,
Yeah.
if you could play this round the same way you did the first,
Sure, and then just do a
specify in the next round what you're changing,
Okay.
Okay.
since the round seems to go pretty quickly,
Okay.
if I could recommend.
Sure.
Can you just tell them what I said? They can't hear me, Kyle.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we're gonna play this round the exact same way we did before, just in case there's any new people in. But then next time, we're gonna start making some little adjustments just to
Right.
try to make it more winnable.
Okay. Because currently I can't do anything interesting, and my cards aren't going to help. But that's just because I drew kind of useless cards for me.
Okay.
So Kyle, go.
I'm going to play the black trench coat, which gives me +2 reason on the time traveler that I equip it to. So I'm going to give Big Fist the black trench coat, which is not really in his style, but that'll give me an extra 2 reason. So now I have 4.
You just have a thing that just gives you +2 reason.
It's this is the equipable card. So technically Big Fist does. So if you took Big Fist, you would also get the trench coat with him
I
because it's
see.
equipped to him, not to me.
Right. I'm wondering about making the equipments +1 instead of +2, just because they stick around.
Yeah.
Just because our It's
Yeah,
like,
because the numbers are already pretty stingy.
I mean, yeah, we all these numbers were, like we said, just made up. So
Yeah,
But
there's
just
weren't
in
barely
play.
any thought put into these numbers, which is why they're not working.
this is our chance. So
Mhm.
now, Kirk, you go.
Okay. There's not much I can do. Don't really want that. Don't really want that. Hand limit is 5. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were doing 5 hand limit, 5 bench limit, just to keep it.
Can I de-equip a time traveler?
Not until you've filled up your bench enough to replace him, I think is what we were thinking.
Right. Yeah. You can't just discard one.
Ah, damn.
You could gunshot. Well, that was actually
Oh right, we were thinking you could kill your own if you happen to have one of the
right.
cards.
Or
that
you
does
could
that.
gunshot gag stand. So that does actually mean we should use gunshot gag as anywhere.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I
in
think
that
that's
case,
fine, it adds to the chaos.
I am going to do nothing.
Right. So now my turn to pick. I can't do anything except recruit Runaway Smith, which I don't want to do because that will drop my reason.
Alright.
I'm already actually dropped my reason getting Johnny America.
Now you're just being unreasonable.
Right. So I'm currently I have +6 combat, -2 personality, -2 reason.
I wonder if it would be easier just on us to deal with only positive numbers at first on this. Like I wonder
Yeah.
if, like
Yeah.
that way, like instead of having the subtraction on each person, we only deal with the ones that add things.
Right. I think we should probably have like
Because I
mean,
like having negatives. It's just we got to put some extra thought into that. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
and-
also adds to the cognitive load for the participants once
think-
you have 5 of them.
You're
and they're
right.
different
Yeah, that's a good
sums.
point.
I think maybe like the my current draft I'm working on in my head is having like 3 tiers of time traveler, like one who gives +1 0 0, one who gives +2 0 0, and maybe one who gives like +3 0 -1.
Maybe. I think it might also be good just as a like ease of understanding kind of thing to maybe the only things that we can have things that subtract score, but they should be inherently bad things. Like it's cards you can play on each other, or like they're specifically like.
Or it could just be temporary things like the boosts.
Right.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
the point of them is like they only do that. I think having one thing that does both might get too
I don't know.
confusing.
I kind of like zucchini milkshake. I kind of like as a trade-off thing because it also lets me, like for instance,
Well, okay. I think that might be okay. Like having the card where it's just like I need combat right now.
Yeah.
I'm willing to sacrifice the other.
or
things.
for instance,
like
I could
once
always
per round.
I could throw this on Big Fist and tank your personality too.
Can you play that on another player? Is that what we?
I don't see why we didn't say we couldn't,
Right. I was just assuming it was for yourself.
but
I mean, that makes it more
But
interesting.
that does
Then-
make it more interesting.
Then your buffs can serve as debuffs
Yeah.
for other people.
Yeah. No. Okay. So I like that. If you have a buff / debuff
it's
card,
also
you can-
temporary.
that's kind of a strategy thing. It's temporary.
But so maybe permanent things should only increase.
I think actually from now on, the time travelers, we should actually remove the negative modifiers on them. Like
Yeah.
now playing it, like it seemed like a good idea, but now that we're playing it, I do think, like you said, just having people keep track of just adding numbers is going to be a lot
Yeah.
easier.
Right.
If this was like a Hearthstone style electronic card game where the numbers were automatically totaled,
Right.
no cognitive load there. But in this case,
And which also means for this one is fine, but we'll need to change some of the other idiocies to not include negative,
Right.
things. But
We can
that's-
just
it's a
bump
simple
everything up
change,
just a little
and
bit, and then
I think we'll make it a lot easier.
Recommendation.
Huh?
Has this round finished yet?
We're not
Oh,
really.
no.
We're.
we're just discussing. We're
We're
not actually
thinking-
changing anything right now.
I know that you're changing things, but it might be easier to finish a
Right, I'm
round
sorry.
without
We're not-
it
we're
making
not-
sense.
We're not actually changing. We're just
I know
discussing
that
as they
you're
come up.
talking about it, so it's like
Okay.
like it's making it
Yeah.
more like I would finish the round, and if it doesn't work, then just say it's finished, and then start talking about like better ways to improve it. Because
Well, okay.
Right,
So
I
that's-
was
we're,
just- I
we're
was just
very, we're very ADD.
Well,
to
I
finish
finished.
it real quick, you don't want to recruit.
I don't wanna
anybody. That's
recruit
what started here.
So you're
I just
allowed
wanted to bring it
you're
up
allowed
while
to
it was
not do
in
that.
mind.
I
Yeah.
have enough reason to recruit somebody if I want, actually, like
Well, there's only LeBron requires reason.
LeBron, so I can take LeBron and add him to my thing because I have enough reason now. I have 4 total with Big Fist and his coat, and LeBron only takes 3, so I can now add that, and I get another additional 2 reason.
Right. At
And
one
then-
point we.
Anything on yours?
No, I
Right.
can't do.
Which is the main problem.
Can't
We
do
keep not
anything.
being able
Right.
to do things.
So
So,
let's
that
do-
means that round's over.
Right. You want to try just one more warp to see what happens, and then.
Sure, because I know what the next warp is.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. So kill those time travelers.
Okay.
Yeah, the problem was I was going last and I knew what you were going to pick. So,
Let's go. Let's go ahead. So the idea is behind that is if you hopefully have an item card that can change that. So if you don't, I mean that's just how drawing cards works.
But seeing this, so I think making it only pluses means that we can have more more flexibility with the number you need to get them. Also,
Maybe.
I think
I think-
it lets you build up to it without having to worry about tearing down other things, and it makes the
Although I mean I haven't been
boost easier.
at the moment that the negatives haven't really bothered me. It's just that I don't have anything. It's just the building. Like I can only get use combat to get combat.
Right.
And maybe you can have like a weird extra tier of 1 or 2 cards where you have to have a negative score of a certain amount to get it.
Maybe.
That would be silly.
So flip over the warp.
All right. Okay. So the next warp is a unique one. It's DoodleCon.
No.
So DoodleCon, when he shows up instead of a warp, so what I have written down here is starting with the player with the most time travelers. So we start with Ian.
Yeah. Actually, we're tied.
We're tied.
So youngest wins.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh crap! So I have to go first. Crap. Each player must sacrifice 1 time traveler. The total score until the total score that of the cards we're sacrificing reaches this one, which is 10.
10 what?
10.
10 power. So
these-
like
the
this is
number at
4.
the top.
This is 4.
Oh, okay.
So we have to appease DoodleCon by trying to reach
By sacrificing.
10.
Which actually right now just means everybody sacrifices 1.
After we go in a circle, if we hit that number, he's discarded and doesn't show up again. But if you're stingy and are like, well, I don't want to sacrifice all of my cards and give up a little short, tiny one, and he's not defeated, he goes back into the stack, and then we'll show back up again later.
Because there's only so many warps. I think that we have 10 warps.
Warps are actually pretty decent. We need more of them, I think, but we have more than 10. We only have 10. We have 9 idiocies, but warps we have a number, a usable number. So basically, what that would mean is we'd have to give up the. So that's even more annoying because we have very few of these. But so if I wanted to, I guess I'll give up LeBron because I don't want to give up my coat too. So I have to sacrifice LeBron. So that's 3. We need 7 more. So.
I sacrificed my only one.
Right, so this is an issue.
And then it doesn't matter who I sacrifice. So it's Johnny and Erica.
Yeah. So then we defeated DoodleCon, and also I think Kirk loses.
Did I lose already?
I'm not actually sure what happens when you don't have any time travelers left. We should
probably have a blanket rule that you can never have less than 1.
Yeah, like you can't give up any if you don't have.
Right.
Yeah, we either prevent it from happening or we have to decide what happens when it happens. Cause
So probably what should happen is you keep Willow. I have to give up 1, and DoodleCon goes back in the stack. That's the more reasonable player safe rule, because otherwise you're just dug in a hole you can't get out of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
yeah.
So take back Willow, I think.
Make a note on that. I should have gotten a
And
notepad.
we're changing it so that there are no negatives on these.
Well, that's the 3rd round, right? So
Yeah.
Are we
So
doing
that was.
that?
I think that was a pretty good. So here, how about now that we've done 3 rounds on the very broken version of this, you want to reset this? I'm gonna grab a notepad so I can
Okay.
start making notes, and then we can start taking questions from Allison.
so go ahead and put all your item cards here.
Okay.
All right.
Cards, time, so we're shuffling everything back in
Everything goes back in its own stack.
its own deck. Yeah.
So you can go ahead and start throwing questions at me.
No, my phone.
Whoops.
Is there a way to post links to this?
I don't know.
So are there questions?
There are questions. Someone actually created a Google Doc with like how to play the game, but I don't think the links are working, so they're trying to figure out if there's a way to post it. But I think it's about 1 out of every 4 people doesn't get it. So 3 out of 4 people seem to understand it pretty well.
That's better than I expected.
Yeah.
It's not too bad, especially since it was not demonstrably working yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, there were some breaks and stuff.
Are they rioting? Do they hate it?
No, they're all very nice.
Okay, that doesn't mean they don't hate it.
Looks like we still have over 500 people watching, so that's
God.
impressive.
Kyle, you terrible, horrible excuse of a human being.
What?
You sometimes draw spirals one way and sometimes draw spirals the other. I was
Do I?
using them to...
Also, you guys need to go over all
I think let's play some more, and then at the end of the ones we haven't used, we'll just kind of like go through them and show what we've got.
Who draws
That's
spirals
right, yeah.
randomly one way and then randomly? It's usually a very set thing.
I don't know how
You
to do that.
ambispiralist.
Look, I have Bob Ross socks. You can see them because of the weird camera angle.
Congratulations.
Beautiful.
Ambispiralist rat fink.
Let's paint some happiness today.
So the big thing is we're gonna say no negative numbers on time travelers or on idiocies.
Someone just put Ian denounces Kano.
What was the other thing? There was something about doodle. Oh right, player can't.
I think it
Can't
should be a
have-
general like handbook rule, like an underlying rule.
Can't have fewer than one time traveler.
Hmm?
You got a fan?
He's still my heart.
I also think maybe for the moment we should we can start off knocking all time traveler numbers down by 1.
Their main score numbers.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
main,
because
main score down by 1.
I'll just
get rid
edit
of the
them as they
negative.
come out.
Yeah.
I do think so. I think if we were going to reset all the numbers, probably like 3 tiers of time travelers would show up. Like we could do like a 1 power, 2 power, 3 power thing.
Can you all take a quick second and just summarize the rules real fast? Like,
Yes.
real simple.
All right. So here's what you do. You start off by you get your stat line, which is how much combat, personality, and reason you have, 3 statistics, by choosing a door monster crew member. You then get a time traveler, 1 time traveler to start with on your side, who alters these statistics. They each have their own small stat line that will add to those numbers. To begin with, you flip over a warp, which is where you warp to. It'll tell you what turn order everybody goes in, and how many time travelers will then be played on the field, unassociated, unaffiliated. You then
You're out of shot.
Oh. You then use your statistics to coerce time travelers to join you, because each time traveler has a number that you have to meet or beat in either personality, combat, or reason, and you match your personality, combat, or reason score with that. And if you can recruit it, if you have that same number or higher. But before that happens, everybody gets a chance to alter statistics and assets on the board with item cards during the fight phase. And then once you reach your stat line to a certain threshold, you can prevent the world from ending. Or if you happen to gain a bench of 5 time travelers that match a certain profile based on the factions, then you cause the world to end as an alternate win condition.
Cool. Thank you.
That clear enough?
I wasn't listening, but but you did what I asked for, so thank you.
Well, I hope that wasn't worse.
Sorry, I'm taking a bunch of notes, so I'm listening to them and
Well,
typing.
y'all see, that seemed like a...
Yeah, no, that was concise.
Okay.
Do we have any more questions that have been building up?
Yeah, I have lots of questions. Do you want to do that now? Or do
Yeah,
you
go
want
for
to
it.
finish
This is a good break time to just take some more questions real quick before we try another round.
Okay, so the first question I have is, well, some are questions, some are
Sure.
suggestions. I just kind of wrote things down as they were coming along. Someone had mentioned instead, I think they said something along the lines of games with buying mechanics would work better with a point system versus a stat system. Does that apply to the game at all?
Say it again?
A point system versus a stat system?
As in, like, buy statistics, maybe? Like,
yeah.
that's basically what the Kyle card does. I think we have all the DM crew members, so it's something we can look at, but I kind of like how we have it now.
Okay.
What is this?
What
It's
did you
like
guys
point
say?
buy, I think, instead of stat array in terms of generating deity. Like, you have 5 points to spend to start on your starting array.
Oh.
Didn't you guys, was one of your notes talking about taking away the negative numbers? What were you guys
Yeah.
saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
we decided we're going to take away all the negative modifiers from
Time
the
travelers.
time
Time
travelers
travelers.
because it's just causing problems.
The fight cards will still have negatives on them.
Right.
Alright, the next question is, what do you show yourself and what do you show others? There's
So
some cards that you
public
have.
information is
Pretty much everything except for the fight cards, right? Except for things in your
right.
hand.
Yeah, private information is fight cards. I did screw
That's
that
just-
up
that's just-
immediately by
Oh.
by playing the one fight card that made everybody show their hands.
Right.
But
that
typically,
made
fight
it
cards in your hands are private. Everything else is public.
I'm gonna talk louder, I'm not sure they can hear me.
We'll repeat the question like you do in interviews.
Can the game end with everyone losing?
The game pretty much has to end with somebody winning, or it kind of basically game ends with everybody losing if everybody gets bored and stops playing. But other than that, it can go on eternally until somebody hits the stat line.
Our idea is to try to make it to where most games can be completed within about 5.
5 to 6, 5, 6 are like our ideal game state. Like end state is somewhere on turn 5 or 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if the rounds take,
If the rounds take
5 minutes apiece.
It's like a 30 to 40 minute game probably.
Yeah.
It's that seems like a reasonable goal, and it can go really fast.
I would loosen up the restrictions on number of fight cards per fight phase.
Maybe,
Like how
but
many you
then we
play?
need like a point system. Like we need like a resource, like mana.
Not necessarily. The draw is your resource. You
You
only have a
could.
certain number of them.
Like you're technically allowed to burn through all of them if you want,
But
but
then you're a sitting duck for the next X number of
I
fight
think-
phases.
Maybe we do
possible.
that. It's possible.
Could
Maybe we should probably we could do we can just what we could do is we could keep going around the circle.
People were trying, yeah, that would do it
Like-
that way. Like you can
like,
one at a time.
only one at a time.
I mean, you go until
until
everyone
everyone's
passes.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the poker Annie thing.
How many
Right.
cards do you start off with, and how many cards do you end with in terms of your own cards?
So you start off with one Door Monster crew member that stays with you the whole game. You start off with 2 fight cards in your hand and 1 time traveler that you get for free. You have a maximum of 5 time travelers on your bench and 5 fight cards in your hand.
How much is that total? So 5 on the bench, 5 in your hand, so just 10.
11.
Right. They're different kinds of cards.
They're
but-
different kinds of cards. They're all cards are always like ideally these will all be different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Like
right. They'll look very
yeah.
distinct.
you have 5 different card decks essentially.
Yeah.
But only 2 that you actually accumulate. You accumulate time travelers and fight cards, each of which you can have up to 5 of.
Right. And then if you get more while you still have 5, you can swap out ones that you have. You just can't go above that number.
I'm looking. Hang on.
So as many fight cards.
Carter is saying, please mention my suggestion that the amount of cards played per turn is decided by the warp location.
Yeah, that's something I mentioned.
You
as
mentioned
well.
that too, yeah.
Did you?
That's another option.
Yeah.
Just earlier he suggested that.
That's kind of interesting.
It's there are a couple of games that use location mechanics, and typically they adjust more than one variable in that fashion.
That actually.
So who starts, how many cards you can play, how many you even draw. You know, you can
Right.
set up special triggers for that.
We don't. I'm not sure. We don't have card draw mechanics yet, but we wanted to put some in. Also, the item cards currently. So another thing that we just moving forward, the faction mechanic is something we added in really recently, which is why it's kind of surface level for now.
Right.
What I would like is for a lot more of the fight cards to like. I want factions to be a primary mechanic of the fight cards.
Like how they target.
Like how they like to like they should be a main limiter and a main like a main availability resource. Like you can like sort of like kicker maybe like this is +2 reason, but if it's played on a villain, it's +3 reason. Or this can only target a villain, or this can't target a hero. Like they should be like I want them to be very relevant
Okay.
to fight mechanics. Just so it's a reason to play with factions. Like you can like try and do like mono hero deck.
So Ensemble of Wolves, hey girl, is saying, are you working with other players to save the world or racing against them to save it first?
That second one.
Do you want to sabatage others?
Yes.
It's all competitive.
Because as we know, everybody in Door Monster hates each other.
That does seem to be the case in our sketches. So yeah, you're all competing to be the first person to either prevent or stop or cause. Sorry, prevent.
It's
or cause
like
something.
Ethan and Jeffrey were in the corner squabbling, and then John goes, "I made dinosaurs."
Do the crew members count towards the total of 5 time travelers?
No.
No, but they do count toward your total score.
Right. They count towards your stats. Really, they're like in a separate zone. I was trying to keep mine like not on my bench.
Yeah, I had them.
If they're more like your avatar, and then your avatar collects.
Then maybe your Door Monster hero shouldn't have stats and should just have
just an ability
or
and
two.
not a stat boost.
Yeah, and
But then you-
then
they
you
probably-
start with a time traveler
Right, but-
who has stats.
The idea then is I feel like you need a stronger, but you need to have some sort of base stat line because otherwise, like if we have, like if then it's just luck of the draw because if you start off with a tier 1's time traveler and then it's only tier 2 and 3 time travelers for. We can alter this with.
Yeah, you can math this a little bit.
We could math it a little bit, but I don't. I think we can have some further distinction. What I would like to do is I'd like to have the door monster cards be larger or a different shape or something, like be more like a.
Yeah, because the visual distinction is one step,
right.
But then there needs to be a sort of mechanical distinction because it seems like the lines are a little blurred.
I'd also like them to have different numbers than the time travelers would have.
But
like maybe a.
We specifically as more of a just personal I was really happy with how this worked out. We have like an exact number of different stat combos that just kind of match everybody's personalities in the thing.
But what we could do is we could add 2 to all of them or something. We could add 1 so we could bump them up so they're a bit more significant like of a stat baseline.
Yeah.
That I do think we should differentiate them more from the time travelers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like having them as a base stat line, although I'm not opposed entirely to getting rid of it.
I have one question. How many rounds per game is there?
As many as needs.
Until you win.
Okay, so someone had it's just a suggestion, but they said if you can sabotage the win conditions, there should be a reward. Example, if you play a certain number of rounds, a win is 3 points and a sabotage is 1, and that could work towards your final score. Does that make sense?
You mean like a win is in preventing the world from being destroyed?
Right.
Your reward there is preventing the world from being destroyed, people.
Not points.
That is the win. You win the game.
Yeah, right. That's so that we.
I see. So there isn't a way to work towards it in certain rounds.
No,
it's just building up your own stat line.
Okay.
It's you haven't done it yet, and then you've done it.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
I've been we haven't nailed down all the terminology, which I know isn't helpful. But so a warp and a round are basically the same thing. Mm-hmm. For 1 warp and 1 round are functionally the same.
Yep. It's just the start of the round is drawing a new warp.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We can say the whole round, the whole game is 1 idiocy.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Do certain team members appeal better to certain factions?
Not currently.
But there definitely some of them should.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry just in case you couldn't hear it. That currently the leaders don't have anything to do with the factions, but we
should. What I'd like to do, so we have 10, 11 crew members.
Because that might make the causing it a little bit easier.
Right.
Actually,
so what I'd like to do is I'd like to essentially enable each crew member to develop different archetypes. Like I want to play the fight card master, so I'm going to go with Ethan, master of fight cards or whatever, or I want to play. I guess John would be master of fight cards, probably. So a card that has an ability that helps you manipulate or otherwise gain advantage over a certain game mechanic, like a niche. Mm. So you can play archetypes by picking your crew member in such a way that you can enable that gameplay style.
Yeah.
But I definitely think, some of them will definitely have faction input.
Okay.
Let's take a couple more questions, then we'll try another round.
Okay. Is there any advantage to having more members in the same faction?
Currently, not in the same. Well, so you can go.
I was gonna say there isn't an advantage to having people in the same faction. There's just it's more of like getting a poker hand.
Right.
Like you want to match what the one of the win conditions on the card is a specific poker hand. So you can get that, then you can also win.
I would like to, when we develop the fight cards again, do a second editing pass on the fight cards, add more faction mechanics, so that theoretically you could eke out an advantage by only getting heroes if you also if enough fight cards reference hero. But then again, you don't really control the fight cards you get. So I would say it's, aside from assembling the poker hand, it's either an advantage or a liability having all the same.
Right, depending on what we end up doing with the fight cards and how they target different factions.
Yep.
And how many players can play at once?
4.
Yeah,
is the idea.
We're limited to 4.
Two
We
to
have a
4
limited
player.
number of cards, so at some point it becomes a little bit unstable.
I mean, theoretically, the game doesn't actually prevent more than that. It just becomes the resources are spread too then.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I I think that's probably good for now.
Okay.
Questions are coming in slow. The only thing that I think we should do is, not now, but at some point go over all the cards, because people are throwing out suggestions, but they haven't seen all of them
Yeah,
yet.
no, because I did want to take people's suggestions for different card things, especially for the fight cards. That's what we're kind of
They
sparse
have a
on at
lot
the
of
moment.
card suggestions.
That's great. I would like hold on to your card suggestions. We will have a point at the end where we just ask for more fight card things and make a big list of them. That'd be really cool.
All right. So, shall we go again?
Yeah, let's try another round real quick. All right, so
DM card first.
all right, let's just make this easy and randomly distribute them. So
Normally, we'd probably say youngest gets to pick first.
I think people should just fight for it. And me again.
Always with the youngest. Ethan.
I am Rachel.
Get to be me.
Ethan Stark.
All right, and then everybody gets two of the
Two fight cards
fight cards
and one time traveler.
and one time traveler.
Okay, so new rules changes this time. We're gonna go with unlimited item cards,
Okay.
or unlimited fight cards per round.
Okay. Yeah, let's try the unlimited one, and then we'll try no negative numbers.
Right.
On
No
the-
negative numbers,
We're scratching that.
and we're reducing all powers by one.
Right. Cool. There, I'll just edit those real quick. So, you want to go ahead and
Flip the warp.
yeah.
We'll flip the idiocy. So our
Alright.
idiocy this time is going to be Eldritch Horror, which is that seeable? Wait, Eldritch Horror. We can prevent it by having a combat greater than 4, a personality greater than 4, and a reason of less than -2. So we probably need to scratch this one for now.
Oh, because it's a negative. I can also just change the.
We could just do less than 0, and then maybe we
This
have to
one's
use
2.
use a warp, or use a fight card to get there. Or do we want to just here? You know what? Maybe
So
we
we can
just
do less than, just not negative numbers.
right. So just less than.
Let's just do less than 2. Just
Less than
'cause,
2,
yeah,
yeah.
why not? I don't really
Yeah.
care what the. We'll change them to be thematic later. Right now, they just need to work.
All right. Or we can cause it by having one hero, one whimsy. One. This is our one of each. Eldritch Horror is one of each.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So 5 of a kind, not 5 of a kind, 1 of a kind, 5 each. So because Eldritch Horror does not care what you do or who you are. It takes all kinds of people to ruin the world with an Eldritch Horror.
Of course.
Cool. And so
Now,
Can we have a quick interrupting question?
Yeah.
sure.
Are items/fight cards different?
no.
They are the same.
Fight cards is I've been trying to say fight cards consistently. When I said item cards before, fight cards.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Alright, so we start by warping to the city. We have a lot of time travelers here. We will get 6 time travelers to choose from. Whoever has the most time travelers goes first, but if it's a tie, the tiebreaker is the one with the highest total score on their time travelers, which is at the top.
Which is
so
4,
3,
3.
3, so Ian.
yeah. All right. So now
The
first
actual
turn,
rule is Ian goes first.
do we draw a fight card first turn?
Yes,
Yes,
Okay,
we
that's a
did
warp.
that last time.
that is a
Can
warp.
we just knock?
It might be Rachel.
Okay.
Oh, you've
no,
been stuck.
You'll get it.
Draw out 6 time traveler cards.
So we flip.
And
6.
so we have. We have Awesome Man, who is from our excellent first superhero parody. We have Messier from the Guards themselves. We have Barbarian from Ethan's first appearance, actually, as a Barbarian Capture Your Worker. We have John from back in ye old a Fable 2 experience days. We have Mission Control from the Kerbal Space Program videos. And we have Bread from I Am Bread.
Beautiful.
And now, we said we do draw, so you want to go ahead and draw a fight card?
Yes. One fight card for me, one for you, then one for Kyle.
I actually probably don't need
Yeah,
to draw
we
one
could-
first, but we can also just, I don't know, it doesn't matter. I think we should probably just,
Well, the rule needs to be consistent, so if
Yeah,
we
to
just
keep
do
it
draw
e-
one
I
at the
mean-
start of each round.
it's just easier to not put these need to be shuffled better.
Do they? Keep it the same ones.
Alright, so anyway, I just went over the time travelers we got.
Okay, cool.
Also what?
Cards.
Cards.
They look good.
Thanks.
Thanks. Let's see.
I'm you.
I'm Sailor
Oh yeah,
Moon.
he's playing you. That's
Yay.
my gift sketch.
We
I look
just-
so cute.
We've decided that you're by the way, Rachel's over here off camera, sorry.
Hi.
We've decided that your power needs to be, yeah! You can do that better.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Did you ever see the Macho Man Randy Savage Skyrim mod?
Yes.
The best Skyrim mod.
Are you, no, sorry sir. The Mudcrab Monocle and Top Hat mod is the best.
Wrong.
Okay, so you
Macho
remember it,
Man
right?
Randy Savage,
Alright.
and then Thomas the Tank Engine.
I'm actually very fond of the one that puts your quiver down at the side. Hard hitting. Hard hitting. Okay.
Alright, so we can play as many of these as we want this time, right?
Yep, but we only one at a time. We go around in a circle.
Right.
Right. So for the Eldritch Horror, we want to pump combat, pump personality. I have personality for a start, and I actually have reason, and so I need to actually lower my reason. So I want something that lowers reason and pumps combat or personality. So currently I only have 2, but I can. Let's see.
Okay, so under current rules, you can't lower your reason through time travelers anymore. You would need to play a card that did it, probably.
Well, that sucks. So
I mean, it's not bad. It could still work. It depends on
yeah.
how many card options. Like if we, I was always okay with making items almost kind of a necessary part of the win condition.
we just
like,
need to put in a lot of boost then. We probably need to, because currently we only have boost for one of each stat combo. We probably need to double
not
up.
so many that you could win in one turn though. By 9, and we just need to like balance the numbers.
Yeah,
right?
you need to make sure they can't accumulate the 5-card win hand.
Right. Yeah.
I also think so. So another thing we should do is right now we just have it. So does every combat person gives you combat and used to destroy reason, right?
Yes.
So we should probably just. I think what we should do is we should completely disassociate logo from their stats.
Mm-hmm.
The stat so getting a combat card could bump your combat or your reason or your personality.
So the mechanism to
'Cause
acquire the card
Right now,
is different than the stats they
right
get.
now,
'Cause right now,
having reason is only going to give me reason.
right now it's a rich get richer kind of thing.
There's no way for
Oh,
me
I
to
see.
get more combat.
So maybe we just shouldn't have this category at the top.
It should just be.
It's just a flat number, and it's just like your.
No,
total.
I think
I like categories.
I think it needs to be a category. It's just these don't need to be associated with it.
Yeah. So
we just each character has a random assortment of.
Oh,
it doesn't
yes.
have to
I
be
see what you mean.
random. They can just be like gently associated. So like
We can
maybe like half of the reason cards.
Right,
give
but
you
we
reason.
we don't need to be.
Or
They don't
more
need to
than
be
half.
strictly associated.
Yeah.
Just because like right now it's just kind of annoying that I can only get reason.
Because you only have reason.
Well, I'm sorry, personality.
2
but-
personality, 2 reason.
Right. So
Oh,
I can.
that's right. Yeah.
But so for instance.
And
What-
one thing I might suggest visually for the time travelers, and if it's an actual physical card game, you might want it so people can actually layer them on top of each other and stack it. And so you get in 3 columns, you can add up all the numbers.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Good thought.
That's actually I was trying to think of a way to do that well. That's a great way to do it. Graphic design, as you can tell, we've done almost none of.
Yeah.
we do have ideas up for it.
I realized today at school I didn't have any food. There's
Okay.
over 20
Okay, so Rachel.
Rachel.
Out there in the living room, there's a box full of snacks. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
It's just like a gigantic box of snacks.
Kind of thing I was asking about.
It's like a video game spawn of snacks.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Okay, go get me fruit gummies. Bring us all fruit gummies. Oh, mini muffins! I want mini muffins.
Okay, so right now, since we can't really randomly reassign the types of cards, should we do something where you can? That's kind of hard, I guess. Yeah,
I mean, right now we probably
think
just
right-
deal
right-
with them as they are.
Okay.
Right now we're relying on a lot on boost, so we'll just definitely have to have a retooled second stream. And this is going up on Ding Dong Ditch, right?
Yeah.
So anybody who has complex thoughts, be sure to, when this goes up on Ding Dong Ditch, leave a comment.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great.
We're gonna we should also probably next community comments or something direct people over to that, like actually physically link it, like hard link it.
Lots of feedback.
They have some really good ideas.
I bet you they do. This is why this is why we're talking about.
crowdsource to the internet.
Right. So right now, what I'm going to do is, for the sake of it, I'm going to use I'm going to give Rachel, Psycho Seer a zucchini milkshake, which will pump her reason by 2, and make her even more boring by giving her 2 personality.
Zucchini milkshakes are wont to do.
Right, well, because rhubarb milkshake was Ricky's milkshake, so he gets the personality. Anyway, that allows me to pick up. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Oh.
I want bread instead.
Well, you can't take anything right now.
You're right. Okay, so I'm not gonna do that though. I did nothing. Nothing. I don't want bread. Bread's terrible.
So
Who
you're
likes
not gonna
bread?
play?
No, I'm not gonna play.
Okay. That's not helpful. I can't do this one. Okay, I'm just gonna play this one for fun then. I'm playing the doors on you, so next time you won't be able to do your fight phase.
Well, that's too bad because I have white lightning agents,
Oh.
which shuts down your doors. So white lightning agents is our counter spell, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It just it gives you an option to say no, you didn't.
Oh, did you want some?
So.
You're good. Don't worry.
Oh wait.
Alright. Then it's my turn?
We go left.
I just went. That was it.
Oh,
it's-
yeah, sorry,
it's
yeah,
Kirk's
okay,
turn.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play solo helplines on Ian.
What does that do?
He skips his next recruit phase.
Should have saved my agents. I think this game hates me.
It's the solo helplines card.
So, I guess the recruit phase starts.
Just toss it his head.
Is that what you wanted?
Oh yes, thank you.
So yeah, now
You are
recruit
my
phase
hero.
starts.
So
which
it starts with Kyle.
he would skip. So yeah, it's my turn.
Hello, solo helpline.
What do I have? Oh right, me again. I forgot. What do I need? I should pick this one.
Stop cheating.
Sorry. I mean, it's the same. I'm gonna pick whichever one it is. I'll add personality. So, if I do personality and Chomwell has personality, technically I already have enough personality, which means I want combat and I need 1 reason card and 2 combat cards since it's all +2 currently in order to win. So we definitely need to adjust the numbers versus the how easy it is to get a poker hand kind of
Yeah.
level thing. Because right now I think that became way harder now that we removed the negative numbers. Like the causing the ADC is now significantly more difficult.
Yep.
So let's see. I'm gonna do.
There's a lot of number tweaking, but we knew there would be.
Combat reason. So
You
you're
shoot
right
anyone.
because I can't get anyone except for Bread because he's the only personality thing, and it just gives me more
Right,
personality.
because so at a certain point, at an
Yeah.
earlier
So we
point,
still can't win this currently.
right,
Therein lies the problem.
at an earlier point, we had a rock paper scissors mechanic. Our first
Right.
draft was rock paper scissors, so that anytime you got a personality card, it would reduce your personality and increase a corresponding score. But then we found that the only thing is you would just stack flat. You would have to like spiral staircase your way up. Does that make sense? I'm not sure that metaphor carries. But then so we said, well, we don't have to do that. And when we got to the threshold idea, and I think we just defaulted to everything increasing what it already had. I don't think we really intended to do that way necessarily. Maybe.
No, it ended up kind of breaking. Here, just for the sake of this round, so that it's playable, this will make it too easy. But can we make it to where, as long as your total character score can beat it, then you can take them? Like just remove the qualifying
We can. I don't
feature
think.
from those.
Well, that's not going to be our final solution, though.
No, because that makes it currently the way it's laid out. It makes it to where you can take whoever you want
Right.
after round 1. But
Just for the sake of. I mean, then. I guess we can.
it makes sense
let's
to
say
make
this.
it. The important thing is it should be easier. Like there should be very few situations where you can't take anyone. I
Right.
think it should be more.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to take somebody every round.
Right. So I think that's.
Unless someone just
Well,
royally screws you over.
Yeah,
Like,
in case you get screwed over in
Yeah.
fight.
But so I think maybe again reducing all these numbers by 1 again might be useful.
But at the moment, it still doesn't matter because you can only build 1 stat.
Right.
The way
So
it's
I mean,
currently laid out.
right. So currently we can get rid of the logo. It's just like so that like right now you could get people, it just wouldn't help you.
Right.
Yeah.
So the problem isn't currently that you can't get people, it's that you can't get useful people.
Yep.
So to solve that, what we'll do is we'll differentiate the stats.
Disassociate the
Dis-
stats
dis-
from
dissociate
the
the
requirements.
stats. But for the sake of fake doing that, we can get rid of the logos.
Yeah, so right now it's just all these logos are done, which means I can get, he's 3, so I can get him, he's 2, I can get him. I can basically get everyone except for Messier with my current score. So I need reason, so I'm gonna take John.
All right, and then anything that's 2 qualifies.
It's already easier though. I like this
I
better
have
than
no
how it was
combat,
already.
so I am going to take the barbarian.
Okay.
Right. Although I do want to have the logos back in the final word. I think that's important because otherwise.
Well,
Otherwise,
I'm not
there's
sure what to
less
do with that yet.
strategy and selection.
yeah, no, I do want there to be strategy,
One
but
thing you might
If we just
here's an
just-
outlandish idea.
yeah.
Combine the fight and recruit phases, so you can either play a card or recruit someone right away. So the time that you spend playing cards to build up your strengths is time in which you're not taking the best people off the board.
That's not a bad idea,
well,
actually.
well, but so the issue with that is we don't. It's not that we are competing for the time. So then you can't use boosts to help you get people.
I mean, you can. It's just the
It's
boost,
just you have to play it and then
and then
get
the next
back around,
time
and
when
then
it
you
comes
can
back
do it.
around.
Okay.
Which isn't bad. I mean,
But it does mean you have an inherent advantage to having already higher stats, which works because that's how games work.
Yep, that's
Maybe.
it's not a bad idea.
possibility.
Let's finish up
Yeah.
this one as it is again, and then we'll try it again next time. And we'll just do 1 round of tests each time. So that we finish this round, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and recycle and kind of recalibrate some things?
Yeah, let's
again, or should
recalibrate. Let's
Okay.
because this is currently not playable like this.
Cool. Here, let's
So-
do this. Do this all again. I'll collect them.
All right. So. I think my favorite suggestion for making the game winnable then is just to go to each time traveler and individually tool their stats.
Yeah.
Maybe make it so that fewer of them match the stat required to
defeat them, to
Yeah.
acquire them.
and so maybe make that a minority.
Allison, you said we were getting lots of suggestions from the audience on
For
like
cards?
is it just for cards or is it for any game? Is there any game mechanic suggestions that we could maybe bring on board and see if we can throw them into our current brainstorming?
Actually, there's not a whole lot of game suggestions. If you ask for them, I'm sure they will come in, but I think most people are actually watching or just hanging out in the chat.
Okay.
But
Our current
feel
issue-
free to ask. I'm
Yeah.
noting everything.
Okay. Our current issue, if you're interested in weighing in, is that
Combat only gets you combat. Reason only gets you reason, and personality only gets
Yeah,
you personality.
right. So we need to kind of come up with a better solution on how to include strategy, but make it easier to recruit the cards that you want.
Is there a problem with just retooling the stats?
Someone has to think about recruitment.
Okay.
Says, what if instead of each guy having a power you have to beat, at the start of your recruitment you choose 1 stat and take a number of guys with the total from the stat being less than your total of that stat.
So you can take, instead of taking 1
It's like you.
time traveler, you could take N.
So it's
where
almost
N
like
is the number that you qualify for, essentially.
it becomes a sort of like a variable point buy system, sort of that way. Like you have currency to spend. Is that what he's saying, or am I
I
misreading?
thought there was
Like, if you have a power- if you have a combat
if you have 5 reason,
You
and there's
get
a
everybody
3
with 5 or less
and
reason?
a 4 reason, and a 2 reason, you get all of them. That's how I read it as.
So again,
Which would make even more of a snowball effect.
wait. So at the moment, we don't actually have problems getting people.
Yeah.
Like our first game, we had problems just recruiting people. Right now, we can recruit people. We just can't recruit people who are useful.
Yeah.
Current suggestion on the board is just make it so that the stats don't match, so that
or they don't always match.
they don't always match, so that that you don't always only get combat with combat.
Mhm.
And that sometimes you get reason, sometimes you get personality.
Right.
Mm.
And so what are you suggesting by when you say retooling the stats?
So let's say for instance, maybe Rodriguez, who is a 5 combat, right, gives you personality because he's a personality person
sure.
instead of combat.
Right.
So then by having combat, you can get personality.
So you just mean strategically staggering them so that by the luck of the draw, you might end up with one that you could get.
Right. So
Well, I
if
mean,
you have
like-
personality, so Slappy gives
Yeah.
you.
That definitely works.
Like we could take and lay out all the time traveler cards right now if we were so inclined, put them into buckets and say,
Right.
50% of the ones that you need fight for,
Right.
we can change so it instead gives you personality or reason.
That's definitely a way to do it.
I think that's my current favorite way.
Yeah.
It's the best way I think that preserves the
The current
existing
way.
mechanics.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without just a whole new mechanic.
Yeah.
But current gameplay loop preserving, that's the
It is
Which
the,
is
it is
actually-
it's the conservative change.
It's actually also the one I thought was already the case.
Right. It wasn't before the way we previously had it because we had a whole different system
Right.
set up.
It's just
I'm kind of interested in Kirk's idea.
Which one?
Where you combine the fight and the recruit phase.
Actually, I'm okay with that too. I think those are both fine ideas. They're not mutually exclusive by any means.
I think it has
Those are
some of its own potential problems, which is originally originally we had limited it to you recruit one person per round, right, per warp, and that was
So what you could do is
but we don't have to do that.
well we could do recruiting into your involvement.
Like you play up until you recruit and then you're done.
Right.
Yeah, you could do that.
So that way if you want to, you can get first pick and then do nothing else.
Yep.
But you can build up to it instead if you want.
Or you could exchange blows and then so that way there's
like that.
There's advantage and disadvantage. I think
The
that's
reason I like that is because it feels more like a struggle. Like
right. Yeah. No. Then it's kind of like somebody reaches out of the brawl, like the cartoon kerfuffle.
The controlled chaos is kind of the feeling I was wanting to get out of this game.
Right. It's called self-fulfilling idiocy. The idea is that a lot of the card mechanics are meant to emulate a certain kind of that's why the turn order changes every time, that kind of thing. So I do like that actually. I think
it turns into more of a fight. I feel like almost
Right.
like a struggle. It's like
and there's strategy.
And
Right.
if there's more differentiation,
we do need to
because we have the different tiers of time travelers. That
Right.
There's going to be ones that obviously people are going to fight over.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we should still do your thing too.
Yeah. I think I do like that change.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, go ahead. No, go. Finish your thought.
We need to change solo helplines and the doors because they no longer refer to distinct phases that don't exist. Good
They
point.
should just refer to the same thing. Like one person in
just
there
skip
and
next
all
turn because if you're just going in a round, it would just be like
Right.
Yeah.
Just Uno skip.
So we're getting a lot of, I think, helpful advice that I would recommend using the comments for the video on.
Yes.
Because I don't totally understand the way the game worked because I wasn't paying a lot of attention, but these seem like in-depth enough suggestions that they would be better put into the comment section, and that we could move forward with some of the card suggestions and other things that people were
I think-
suggesting.
At this
Yeah,
point,
you're
we've reached a point where we need to retool significantly enough that playing another round isn't the most useful.
Yeah.
So what we could do is we could go to just demonstration, like just these are the cards we have, and then use card suggestions.
I'd be happy with that just to finish out this particular stream, and then
I'm
we
also hungry.
can come back and do another one later. And I also want to see Star Wars.
Right.
Because Rachel is dying.
So,
But the cheese itself.
in any case, so let's so we're gonna go. But now is when you should start thinking of your demonstrate your card suggestions. Let's go through what we have so far.
Yeah.
So just these are all based.
Wait, before we do that, can I do a couple things on my phone because it's gonna die? They're not all card suggestions; they're just little tiny things
Yes.
to think about.
Oh sure.
Okay, so the first one says it was actually mentioned by Burnt L,
Oh, okay.
and it was
Hi.
idea with the White Lightning headquarters card attempting to erase Door Monster as a catastrophe card. A few people really like that idea. Another thing was flavor text, or also what else did it say? Backstories, like.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have flavor text on all these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the backstories could kind of explain the stats a little bit.
Right,
To
yeah.
some degree.
I like that too. Like
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, just like when we retool the stats, we can like.
Almost like a mini bio. Of
Well,
each character.
what it is, it's great. Like they're magic cards that mechanically don't make any sense until you read the flavor text, and it's
Yeah.
like
That will also help with playability outside of Door Monster fans,
right,
which
yeah.
which is something I forgot to bring up. But
What is it?
Sorry, yeah.
My card dies. Hobo puppet card. I kind of like that, and I don't know how to make this a game mechanic, but Ricky cards being rare.
Sure.
Someone said increase the numbers to save the world so that it's not such an easy game, or maybe a fast
yes,
game.
well, the way we're doing it now, I feel like we could do that. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, we can definitely.
What we need to, we will need to. Yeah.
Those were all they were just fake numbers in the
They were-
first place.
yeah,
Yeah,
all
but
of
yeah,
them.
I agree.
Okay, and then the last thing is just have warp cards boost recruitment. And that's all I've written down, so I'm not sure if there's more to that or if that makes sense on
What
its
does that
own.
mean?
No
Have
idea.
warp card like maybe they just or maybe each warp has a stagnant stat bonus. Like everybody's reason is counted as one higher in this warp.
Maybe, yeah, that might be too much extra.
It's something we can. It's
numbers.
that's like a final knob you can.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
something we can
play
like
with.
we can tweak if we need it.
Yeah.
I do kind of like the idea of maybe different, especially if we're gonna have this brawling thing. Maybe like cards drawn be specific to the warp.
Yeah, or some particular warp mechanics have like in this warp you can recruit 2 times.
Or something like that,
You know,
yeah.
like an extra big brawl, or you know,
Just
in
used to,
this warp each player draws an
to
additional
dial
card.
up or down the size of conflict.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go through. Now we get to go through the cards presented. Allison.
What? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Cards. Yes.
All right, so we have just to quickly go through the DM cards. We have the Ian Khan card, just the Ian card, right? Because we don't have last names on them right now. Who is currently slated for? Wait, I have to do it down here. Yeah, 3 reason. The Allison card has +2 combat, +1 reason. The Ethan card has +2 personality, +1 reason. The Rachel card has +2 personality, +1 combat. And then the Kyle card, as we've seen, is a way to cheat. So currently our idiocies, we're just going in order of things we have least to things we have most.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The different idiocies.
I'm really happy with all of these, actually.
Yeah.
All of our end of the world scenarios are great.
We have Eldritch Horror, which ignore the stat line, but you need one of each type because they are blind to all different peoples.
Right, I think that's what we keep. Can they see him from that angle?
That's too far.
Oh.
Right here is
Can they
where
see,
I
like,
put
the
them,
art
and then
and stuff?
yeah. And then we have Exploding Sun, which requires, I think, that's 5 villains.
Yeah.
5 villains to explode the sun.
That was the first idea, obviously.
Right. Necrocutie which requires 4 people to just not care and 1 person just a dash of. Is that whimsy? Or is that happy? That's whimsy.
That one's whimsy, yeah.
So, just like 4 people to not care, 1 person to say what if, and then we have
That person's Ian.
Irresponsible Dinosaur Scientist. Is my personal favorite name.
Mine too, actually.
Um,
These, like, the art will be different, but I have, like, not too much difference. I have notes, basically, on all of these. Like, this is Jeffrey and Ethan's character from the Civ video. I can just hold it up to the thing, I guess. Or you could, if you want to focus it, like, on a specific spot, then we can just lay him down.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
that'd be good. I'll just move these.
It's this camera, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you just want to...
this doesn't need my feet in shot at all.
No.
See,
Zeroing in feet.
I can figure this out. There we go. All right.
Focus to me.
We also have Gandhi as an end of the world scenario.
Yes.
You need 5 heroes to trigger Gandhi because value overflow.
Oh right, yeah, that's what we did. Yeah.
And then you have just Australians as an end of the world scenario.
Right, this is our Mad Max. So they're all things from our videos. We just wanted to rename them as generic end of the world scenarios.
Right. So this is
Australians.
2 heroes and 3 chaos.
Sounds all right.
Then you have supervillain scheme. This isn't familiar looking yet, but eventually will be. This is
Oh right, yeah.
5 villains make a supervillain scheme. Sure.
Duh.
Then we have psychotic computers, which require 1 hero and 1 hero, 2 whimsy and 2 chaos. Because 1 person to decide to make the world better, 2 people to think it's a great place, and 2 people to take advantage of that. And then we have subpar Scandinavian manufacturing standards, which requires.
Hey, those are my people.
They have 1 chaos, 1 whimsy, and 3 people just to not care because it's furniture and it's boring.
Yeah, cool. And then Warp's next?
Orb's next. Reaction's good?
Yeah. An Australian approves the Australian idiocy card.
Oh, good.
And we were slightly concerned about that.
Well, it's Australian, so.
We only need the 1.
Right.
He speaks
That's
for
it.
all of them, I'm sure.
If we have 2, then we officially have Australians approval, but that's approval from Australians. Okay, so the first warp is Door Monster's house. The turn order is the interesting thing here. Turn order for a Door Monster is the youngest goes first because young people get candy.
Hell yeah.
This is the apartment, which you'll recognize as the community comments.
Oh, Ian, your little look.
Yeah. Pull it towards you.
There you go.
Yeah.
The community comments couch. And associated Cave Johnson painting, although right here it just looks like a screaming terror. It says, lowest combat first because nobody fights in the apartment. It's a happy place. There is Aviel, from Altered Egos, which I will notice only has 5 tiers when it ought to have 6.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
And first from last turn picks a number between 1 and 20. Whoever gets gets closest to guessing it goes first. It's supposed to be like rolling a d20.
Right.
The Space Center from the Kerbal videos. Lowest reason goes first because space. The
people have spoken and they really want to do not indulge the fandom card.
I don't want to indulge them.
Okay, well then at least a shirt.
What's that man doing to prompt that response? This bothers me.
The backlot, which as we've seen, you simulate a back alley brawl with rock paper scissors.
Right.
Yeah. First. KGB, the highest combat goes first because it is a place of violence. The anarchist base, whoever went last goes first now because we're overturning the world order, topsy-turvy, chaos, anarchy. And then the council room from the Civ videos.
Right.
You vote for who goes first, but you can't vote for yourself.
What do you do in case of a tie? Always youngest goes first?
yeah.
Okay.
Of the winners. And then White Lightning HQ, highest reason goes first because they try and figure stuff out to no avail. The spaceship, highest personality goes first. I think because Captain Spectacular.
Yeah, it's because every single time we do something on a spaceship, it's me basically being Zap Brannigan.
Yeah. In the woods, the fewest time travelers go first. I think because there aren't many people in the woods.
And when they do, about half of them die.
Right. So we have the sandbar. There's a crystal soccer ball item card. If you have that one, you go first.
Oh, right.
Otherwise, whoever's closest to their 21st birthday goes first. The office, the lowest personality goes first because it's an office. DoodleCon, we went through DoodleCon and how he ruins everything.
Right.
Film space, the void, which is the white area we get into in some of our finale videos. Whoever suggested playing the game goes first because it's supposed to be meta. And then the city is the opposite of the woods. The most time travelers go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think more of those could be useful. So if you have any suggestions for more locations
Yeah.
and maybe some extra things to go along
the
with
turn
them.
order to go with it because we actually were kind of stretching to get this many turn orders.
A little
but-
bit, yeah.
We haven't none of those represent factions.
Get more creative, right? We don't have any faction stuff yet, so actually that's a good.
Right.
point.
So next we're doing the fight cards.
Are those the last cards?
There's also time travelers,
Right,
but
time travel's a bit longer. So these don't have in-depth explanations, though. We can just kind of
no,
like.
yeah. Zed, the puppet, is an equip card.
Flippy.
There we go.
Yep.
We're on a slight delay, so I have to like.
Right.
Right. So that is an equip boost.
Oh, that is a puppet card, right?
Yeah, that's the puppet. Yeah.
Barbarian Rage gives you +5 combat because
That's the super combat boost.
Right. We have what? Which forces a player to replay the last card they played. Like, get it back from discard, play it again. Man, these are a lot of weird ones.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love this one.
Right, so we have the frog. If the frog is your only card in play, what does it say?
What is it? Oh yeah, I forget what the. So if the frog is the only card in your hand, you can play it to instantly add to be a plus. Like it's gonna be a big boost.
Right,
Without
like-
subtracting anything else.
Right, a big boost to one of your stats.
Yeah.
Because the frog is a punchline.
To any of your stats, yeah. So as long as the frog is the only card in your hand, then you can play it and just get like instant huge boost to one of your stats for that turn.
Gunshot gag we saw gets rid of a time traveler. The trench coat equips for +2 reason because you gotta be reasonable to be good at hacking. So the unfortunate cookie, what you do is you have to choose a time traveler and give it to the person to your left. Everybody cycles around a time traveler to
Right,
the
we
left.
were gonna have a few of these, and it was like each one just does something. Right, wasn't it? Or did we change?
I think maybe.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, that was the original idea. But yeah, okay. So the current one is just everybody just. That's right. You draw it, it instantly plays whether you want it to or not, and everybody has to cycle.
Right. Yeah. The unfortunate cookies are instant happens, or something like that.
There's the
The
crystal soccer ball.
crystal soccer ball, +5 personality because it's a cult.
And also
Pocket.
let you go first if you
Right.
end up on sandbar.
Pocket Arsenal gives you +2 combat because it. Dusty board. Take the top card from an opponent's discard pile, which I think is just the discard pile now.
Right, yeah. This is a lot more cards than I remember making.
Rhubarb Milkshake, +2. I remember we spent a long time doing this. +2 personality because Ricky has personality. Diplomacy is switch any 2 of your stats for a turn.
Yeah.
Like you can use one stat as another.
That's a good way to get the win condition.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be
Car movers. Switch one of your time travelers with somebody else's. This is another white lightning agent's card, which is the only one we currently have multiples of in the deck.
Right,
which
just
is
a counter
the
spell.
counter
So
spell.
a few of those.
This is the first. This is a wanted card, a wanted poster. So take a target, take a time traveler from the player with the highest combat, and replace it with one of your own. All the wanted posters have different conditions. They're the different ways that you can take specific time travelers from other people. You just have to swap with one of yours, which also is a good reason to make sure people can't have less than one.
Right, yeah.
Here's a wanted. Take a time traveler from the player with the highest reason and replace it with one of your own. They're all just different conditions.
Yeah.
License to
All the
maim.
wanted posters are for stealing each other's cards.
+2 combat, -2 reason, or 2 personality because you're in the KGB. Trigger discipline, +5 reason, -5 combat, -5 personality. Magic bag, take any card from the discard pile except the most recent one played. Was there a reason for that?
I think it was just because it was the opposite of a different card.
Right. The Mafia drone, choose a card from another player's hand and take it.
Do you get to look at it first?
You can take you
Choose,
you
yeah,
look
that
at-
one was
look at their
specifically,
hand
yeah,
and
taking
select.
it.
Okay.
We have another one, I think, that you randomly pick one, but that
Right.
one's like you specifically pick out the one that you want. It's a Mafia shakedown.
Here is another equip card, the bandana mask,
Yeah.
which adds to combat. The magic telescope, as we've seen, is the telepathy effect. So the hope lines make another player skip their recruit phase, which will.
What we're currently doing, it'll probably just be like what you said, an Uno skip card, basically.
Right. This wanted poster is like the most recently recruited and replace it with your own. This wanted poster is take a time traveler with a person with the highest personality and replace it with one of your own. Another card mover, so we do actually have 2 of these,
Okay.
which is swap one card in your hand with a card from another player. Confetti shotgun, +2 personality, -2 combat because it's confetti. Yay! But no, not bullets. Your suggestion here, which is what is something that gives reason but takes away combat and isn't trigger discipline. And then we have zucchini milkshake, +2 reason, -2 personality because rhubarb's not even a word.
Okay, I've set this on the side just so people can think on that.
White Lightning Agents is another counter card. Use the doors, make a player skip their next fight phase. And then we have Stand, which we talked about but didn't actually. Stand, the idea is anytime you would take a time traveler or anytime you have to move around a time traveler, you can instead swap Stand in from your hand and give that to somebody.
Yeah.
That just ruins your day.
And so, without any stat explanations at all, because
We're gonna
it's
change
take
them.
forever, and we're going to change them, just to show you which characters we have so that you know when you're suggesting. We've got, in no particular order, King of the Corduroy Pants people,
Currently a hero?
Panda Guardians,
But Whimsy.
Whimsy, yeah, these are Whimsy, Jiggery,
Whimsy.
the Scout,
NPC.
Jenny America,
NPC.
Agent Khan,
Villain.
the Wubbies,
Chaos.
Kurt and Walt,
Heroes.
Captain Spectacular,
Chaos.
Big Fist,
You're low.
Huh?
You're low.
Oh,
Hero.
Big Fist, we got LeBron,
NPC.
Nezier, who we saw earlier,
Villain.
Lord Chomwell,
Chaos.
John,
NPC.
there's Aurora, Rachel's character from the D&D,
Hero.
Silverback,
Hero.
Ryan, Psychoseer,
Hero.
Allison's, we have Helium Man,
Whimsy.
have the Worker,
NPC.
Uncopyrighted Space Explorer,
Chaos.
Yegor,
Villain.
Laptop AI,
Villain.
Master Fusion,
Hero.
Johnny America,
Hero.
Boss Monster,
Chaos. No
Ghost
villain.
Hunter. Oh yeah, it's also technically not copyrighted because those are just 2 words. Ghost Hunter,
Whimsy.
Lola,
Chaos.
Runaway
Pull a
Smith.
card.
Yeah.
Villain.
We got the Arsonist,
Chaos.
Border Patrol Agent,
NPC.
the Hunter,
Chaos.
Slappy. God, we have a lot of these.
NPC.
Gary the Misanthrope. I guess we have 50, right? 'Cause
Villain,
it's 10 of
yeah.
each. Idea Guy.
Whimsy.
Bread.
Whimsy.
The Companion.
Whimsy.
The Gamer.
Chaos.
Evil Minion.
Villain.
Ninja.
NPC.
Monster Door.
Whimsy.
The Revenant.
Hero.
Willow.
Hero.
Extortionist Hobo. There he is.
Chaos.
Awesome Man.
NPC.
Enigma.
Whimsy.
Yegor.
Villain.
The other one. Barbarian.
Villain?
Barbarian Villain. Yeah, I guess that's what we ended up on. Magic Mugger.
Chaos.
Mission Control.
NPC.
And Rodriguez Alcazaro.
Hero.
And that's all the cards. We did it, guys. That's all of them.
Seen them all. How many people are currently watching?
Like 320.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well.
So, this is our first attempt at making a card game, if you
Yeah.
couldn't tell. I'm pretty happy with what we ended up with.
I am too. I'm happy with the adjustments we made
Yeah.
just during this one thing. So I think that will. I think next time you'll get to see us play the game a lot more, and it'll probably be a little bit
Right.
easier.
This is
but-
literally the first time we've ever even attempted, even psychologically, to play the game.
Yeah, actually.
Um,
So those were some pretty good adjustments, I think, already. I think if like what Ian said, if you can leave in-depth thoughts on the game on the video once it uploads, I think I'll probably just send it over to Ding Dong Ditch as soon as I can, so it should be there on our second channel. Real quick before we go, have you been collecting card suggestions, Allison, that we can just kind of go through and see what people...
Not really, because you guys had all of them.
Oh, really? Did we cover all of them? Okay, so now that you know all the cards we have, if
There
you...
are a few things for the suggestion card, consulting detectives for 2 reasons.
Consulting detectives would be good, yeah. Oh, for the blank one?
Yeah, for the blank one.
they do kind of fight.
That would be a good one, actually,
They're
yeah.
asking for a critical mass card.
We got curtain walls. I guess I could
Okay,
change it
good.
to, yeah.
Let's see. Also, IKEA assembly manual for the suggestion card.
IKEA should be a location.
That's actually pretty good, yeah.
There was a DoodleCon card, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. He's his own mechanic.
Scandinavian furniture outlet.
Someone said Crop
There you
Goblin.
go.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah,
There
yeah.
have to be a time traveler, but
It doesn't have to be. It could be a fight card in some way
Yeah.
to have an effect.
Also the SCP Trick-or-Treater.
That'd be good. Yeah, some kind of some reference to that. Yeah.
Let's see. Was there a Gary card?
yes, he was a villain.
Yeah.
Okay. Denouncing Venice and Boat Lemons.
We can
Oh.
definitely do denouncing.
Oh, right. No
Denouncing
religions.
Venice, yes.
I don't know why I didn't think of that. That was stupid. Those should definitely be in there.
Metier card?
Yeah, he
we
was
got
a
his
villain.
character.
Okay. Let's see. +2 reason, -2. What is C?
Combat.
Combat Beglery.
There's nothing reasonable about these.
I'm still writing it down.
There should be a card that's just like, what is Ian fidgeting with? That's just the card.
What were the other 2 suggestions for that one? Also, it was
For which one?
for the blank one for the +2
Yeah.
reason -2 combat. You listed off a couple at the beginning. I already forgot what they were.
There was the consulting detective.
Consulting detectives, right? I like that one.
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
Here. Oh, no, never mind.
Womp womp.
Oh, it was the IKEA assembly manual.
Right. I'll mark those down.
Let's see.
If we have any new ones now that you've seen all the cards, if you guys want to throw out some suggestions real quick before we go, I'll definitely take them down.
A fight card for workers permit, papers please.
That's actually pretty good for the +2 reason -2 combat. Entry paperwork.
Entry paperwork, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what else? Crab banning. It's working a little slow for me to scroll up.
Ban the crap.
Can you do a Terracotta Army?
Terracotta.
Is there a laptop card?
Yeah, psychotic computers is one of the idiocies.
And he's a character, actually. He's both.
Right, yeah.
Okay. People are talking about Venice as a location.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Yeah. Everybody gets a ton of fight cards.
idea. Right, yeah. It's just...
I have a lot of fight cards.
Were there any Kerbal related cards?
There were non-trademark space explorers.
Alright. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, Oh, license to main would be a good thing to have.
We have license main.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It's +2 combat, -2 personality.
Right.
There's been a few for Master Fusion's magic bag.
That one's also one, actually.
Yep, magic bag.
Okay.
I think we got it pretty well covered, actually. That's what I'm learning.
Some people are saying the doors.
We have that
We
too.
have that.
But it's actually used multiple times on stream.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think what we'll do is we'll make solo helplines will be like skip, and then doors will just be like instantly shut you down for the rest of this turn or something. Like,
right, in the turn kind of.
Yeah.
We should also we'll have a Google Doc with all these. We could probably put these in a
You
Google
can
Doc.
put them in a table.
Yeah, we can do that.
Gamer card?
Actually, I think somebody in the Discord could do that because they're real good at that, and I don't have
That's a
time.
good idea.
Right. Patient gamer. You say patient. I always forget people like that sketch so much.
Right, because it doesn't make sense to me.
That's one of my more low key but workable sketch suggestions.
There's also, oh my god, I just lost it. Hang on. Oh, the XCOM soldiers.
Use
Oh, yeah,
grenades!
Could do. Oh yeah. Hoorah! Use grenades.
Yeah.
Veteran sci-fi soldiers.
Yeah.
A bad signs card.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, like a hobo sign or something.
Yeah. Panhandling sign. That just gets offensive real fast.
A Myers security card.
Oh yeah.
Slash Mr. Justice.
Meyer security would be good. I think we tried to, so time traveler wise, we tried to not include. There's a lot of more the guards themselves characters we could have used, but we didn't want to have them weigh the deck down too much. So we thought, like in the future we'll do like expansions where we put out more side characters or something. But
Someone also said Intersnect.
oh yeah, that is a good one actually.
And it's very useful for this card
That's
game.
not copyrighted if there's an extra letter there, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Also, intersect is also a verb.
Oh right. Good point.
There is one for the edge meter. Also Dossie board.
We do have a Dossie board card.
Yeah, we do have that one.
Do you guys have Hacker Fight in there?
Oh, we have a bunch of hacker fights.
We have
Enigma
as a
and
character.
and
the
black
trench
tan coat.
Oh
Or
right,
black
the
tan
code,
coat. Black trench coat.
Burnt L says -2 reason +2 combat frightened soldiers.
Yeah.
yeah.
Panic.
Like the panic thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Alien panic.
Let's see. Someone said Wilson's Raft.
That's
Oh.
real. They're getting into it.
Excessive accessories card.
Oh yeah, that's actually pretty good for this.
We could do like a volleyball companion
Fun
for
to
something
say
though.
for sure.
I in my head I always shorten into accessories.
We do have the Mafia drone, which is from that.
Oh,
What?
We have the Mafia drone as a card.
From what?
that's a good
Oh wait,
idea.
no, sorry. I was thinking of the wrong one.
Oh, yeah.
Accessories is the one with
Ricky.
Oh, so just having a card of excessive accessories. Yeah,
I think-
that's
I think-
actually a good one.
People are demanding more Jeffrey.
Well, he's not here. Like in person or in the game.
I think both probably.
Someone said chicken weapon.
I
Oh.
killed a chicken with a man.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see. There are also
That
a
didn't
lot of
actually
requests
happen.
for the Avatar sketch, like Firebender ones or something like that.
Ah yes.
Not copied.
Copyright free element users.
Elemental adept.
Do you have Immortal Jeffrey card?
No. I mean, Jeffrey is a leader character, so we don't really have specifically him like
What
in
about-
that reference, but.
What about a Cave Johnson painting card?
We could have a portal gun card.
Yeah, we can have like a handheld portal device thing.
Transdimensional backpack weapon.
Someone said the creepy quest giver from the D&D sketch.
Oh yes,
Oh, the old man.
suspicious old man
Suspicious old man.
There you go.
Yeah.
named Plot Hook.
That's a good one.
Let's see.
The dog in No Man's Sky video, a bunch just non-existent.
Yeah.
Did you read that? Someone just said that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have it open on my phone too. I was just seeing if I
Okay.
could catch some as they come through because I know they're coming through really fast.
And you have a frog one, right?
I do have
Yes.
a frog one, yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Someone
Because it's
said-
so useless most of the time.
Someone said the Half-Life crowbar. A dialogue shrub card. Knocking on wood.
You do like knock on wood as an action.
I do too.
Yeah, like it's some kind of protection thing or something. Like you play
Right.
knock on wood, people can't play cards against you or something like that. Maybe
Preventative, yeah.
that could be interesting.
Will you tell everybody that before the stream is over, I will post the rules that someone had posted in the stream at the very end.
Oh
Before
yeah.
the stream is over, Allison will post the rules that somebody else had posted in the stream.
Somebody made a collection of the rules when we described them and posted them
Yeah.
somewhere, and they got lost. But we'll be sure to have that in the description of the video when it's re-uploaded afterwards.
Right.
A Bat by Any Other Man cards.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
What could be in there?
I
I don't
have
even
the
know.
examiner.
I couldn't even tell you what the lines from that were, and I said them.
Do you
What
have,
ho, mine Henry Thomas, but for whom I took to scampering.
do you have Theological Combat?
No, I don't think we have any references to that one.
We gotta have a beam struggle card in there somewhere for some reason.
Do you have Obstructive Ladder?
Or could be something about.
Do we have
We
anything
used to
else?
have ladder on the hatch, but I think we replaced it with the doors or something. It was like it was going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
the same thing. So we ended up not actually using it, just
Well-
because functionally it was identical to the one we already had.
But we're gonna redo some of the boosts to have more of them, right?
Yeah, I mean we could. Yeah, we can still have it in there somewhere.
Let's see. People are also saying things like Community Comments card or Discord card or that kind of stuff.
I think we have a meta indulge the fandom pack expansion pack at some point.
Yellow
Yeah.
Light?
Huh?
Yellow Light?
There's nothing from Yellow Light. so-
Neon gray, sir.
Bertel says Shakespearean prose for the blank card.
Plus 2 reason minus 2 combat. It's actually
Yeah.
that's my current favorite actually.
Yeah,
It
that one.
says Magic Mugging.
Oh, the Wizard Mugger. Oh, wait, he's a character, isn't he? Wizard Mugger.
No, well yeah he is. Yeah he is.
Yeah.
Wizard Mugger. Magic missile. It never misses unless it does.
Do you have a Living Forever card?
No.
That could be kind of good.
I don't know what it would do other than cheat, but I can put it down.
Exactly. Slide City.
That could be a location. I like that actually.
As long as it's made of concrete and it's a for
Fly City
underprivileged youths.
Fly City or spelled out Death Park exclamation point.
Air Tranian says can't see green. -1C plus 1R.
For the Bat by Any Other Man, you could do Chamber Pot, Shakespearean Hipsters, or Ben Affleck Hamlet.
Those are all pretty good.
What is Bower Stone for a warp card?
That's a Fable location
Oh,
for
okay.
Rodriguez.
Bower Stone, okay. The merchants selling hero goods.
Oh,
Oh,
from
yeah.
Sell Everywhere.
Yeah, we could do merchants. Something
Someone
about
wants a
merchants.
pineapple pizza card, but if it's not all negative, it's not allowed.
I think like
I am totally happy putting in a
If-
pineapple pizza curse card.
if you are wrong, it does bad things to you. If you are correct, it's great.
Freedom Pizza, anti-communism pizza.
Right.
There's the man who can't finish anything.
I don't think his card will make it in.
Funny. Someone said non-copyrighted head crabs.
I was, wait, no.
Like capital crustaceans.
I was like, face. Wait, no.
Forehead mollusks.
Cranial crustacean.
Cranial crustaceans. That's good.
Also, staying hydrated. I don't know if that could be a thing, but.
Oh, it's soda blood. Could that be something?
Oh, okay.
What?
I didn't know what that meant.
Oh,
Someone said
oh,
soda
okay.
blood, but I didn't know what it meant.
Or Stalin stomach.
Oh, Ghost Finder.
Oh, Nazis in my stomach.
Do you have a Ghost Finder card?
We do.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we have the Ghost Hunter. Yeah.
Let's see. Discord is a location. I don't know. Can you even do that?
I don't know, but I'll write it down just in case.
Discord location. Time travelers plus whatever number next comes up in the Discord chat.
There's license to me.
We have that one.
Okay. Loading an old save.
Ooh, I want Justice Hawk.
We have the we have Justice Hawk.
Oh,
We have the evil.
Yeah, we do.
Noah Brown says have a fans card.
Oh yeah.
Oh, just fans.
Just
Yeah,
a legion of
that's a
fans.
good
I'm definitely thinking actually indulging the fandom expansion pack would be good.
Yeah.
Like just a bunch of meta cards, like it's like a resource pack.
Yeah.
Let's
Bunch of
see.
meta cards. A few
Mirror
ships.
Dimension Donuts.
What?
Mirror Dimension Donuts.
Oh man.
Oh, that's good.
I like that. Oh, someone, Air Training says the Fazbear experiment. I'm also not sure if you could do that. Spine
think
Energy.
the,
Some of these you might run into problems.
the Freddy Fazbear one could just be like psychotic psychology professor or something.
Yeah. Do you have a grilled cheese card?
Yes, it's well.
We have bread.
Yep.
We have part of it.
We have bread. We also have an exploding sun, but it's not immediately apparent.
All right, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Should have a cheese fight card that you can play on bread.
Oh no.
We have an unfortunate cookies card. Resting Dylan face.
Ooh, I like that one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a good one. Also, just absurdly big magical key card. And the cards too.
This is so one of my favorite Jeffrey jokes from back in high school. Was he just had this idea for like I think it was supposed to be an animation you were gonna do, where it just like Sora warps through time. Wait, this isn't a Disney location. This is Detroit. Him beating people to death with a keyblade in Detroit.
These are all great. I didn't expect to get this many.
Do you have any Minecraft ones?
No. I think.
Someone referenced a card that just said Okay. That's a bit aggressive.
That's actually pretty okay.
But it's from Minecraft. I get it. Eternal scream of determined it.
Somebody does kind of corridor be a place referencing the Sims video.
Wait, Kate V says demonetization card because YouTube comedy.
We need to curse ourselves that way.
That's
I'm
funny.
gonna do narrow hallway location, see if we can come up with some funny mechanics for that.
Yeah.
Let's see. A bird's L card.
I'm not opposed.
I can't believe I got that question wrong in the 100K video.
Of all the people, I would be okay with putting some kind of burnt L something in the card
Your
game.
mom was a lame answer.
Well, we didn't come up with the questions. Or the answer.
That sounds like a really bad your mom joke.
Shoulder pauldrons.
Helmet, shoulder, pauldrons.
Yeah.
Important.
Let's see. There's a trigger card.
Oh, wait, we have trigger discipline.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
That's probably a pretty good collection
These
for
are
now. I
pretty
think
good,
Yeah.
we've covered most of the categories.
We're getting a few repetitions. So.
Yeah. Alright, I think we'll probably go and call it there then for today.
Okay.
That was super helpful though. We will at some point hash out what we need
Right.
with the
Wait,
updates.
wait, it's now. I'm on Christmas break,
Yeah.
so we should be able to get a second draft of this in less time than we've been talking about. It shouldn't take another month.
Yeah. Only have 3 episodes left of Outlining Skyvault also, so we're making good progress on that. And then haven't really touched the arcade series yet, except for deciding that it's going to be more depressing than it was originally.
I thought it was gonna be happier. We've touched a little bit, but
Well, I guess translation. I'm taking cues from BoJack Horseman.
Oh.
What? What?
right.
Way more depressing.
We decided enough with
Can we have
Community.
animal heads though, please?
No animal heads. Not those.
Damn, you're
Not those cues.
Well, can we lay eggs?
I think that's weirder.
Alright, Fruit Suits, final option.
Just waiting for the fruit suits.
So yeah, thanks all. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank
and
you for watching.
For helping and
We're
giving
struggling
suggestions.
through our broken card game.
Next time, hopefully, we'll be able to have more direct feedback because it will be more playable, and so it'll be like more fine tuning kind of
And
stuff.
now that I've actually played it, it's way easier to write out the rules.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so I'll have those typed up for you next time.
So we'll do
And
another one of these. If you're watching this and missed the stream, we'll have another one. So we'll just keep an eye out on our
I'm working on getting the rules.
Twitter page
posted.
and stuff. Allison's working on getting the rules posted currently for people who want to actually review them and
Assuming
give their
they're-
suggestions.
correct.
And then I think once we get this worked out to the point where it actually seems to be playable just in general, we will also
We'll use a PDF.
try
and-
to put up some kind of like downloadable something.
Right.
we can
People have
use.
been talking about Tabletop Simulator. I think we.
I don't know how to do that.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I've looked into it a couple times.
Alright, either way, it's going to be a lot of scanning these stupid cards in, which I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah.
Um,
It'll be a lot of man work, but it'll be.
Probably what I'll do is I'll end up. The thing is, they don't got to look good, so I'll probably just take pictures of all of them, put them up in a printable format first, and just so everybody can download them, print them out, cut them out, and just play as a practice thing if they want.
I drilled those.
And we'll see about putting them on Tabletop Simulator for people who have that and want that to happen.
I have a better one somewhere.
But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it, huh?
Yep.
Alright,
Thanks
cool.
for watching, and we'll check you next time.
We're gonna go eat and watch Star Wars. So yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye everybody. I'm gonna turn off the stream now. I have to walk over here to do it.
So wait, you guys have tickets to Star Wars?
Not
We
yet.
have movie passes.
I don't.
Well, most
I
of us
don't.
have movie passes. Where's the ending thing?
Colonel Towers wants her to know that they say bye. I think you're in a
Who does?
Kirk?
Like Turtle Towers?
That's John.
That's John.
Oh! You definitely have an empire.
Bye, everybody, and John.